Welcome in, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It's Friday, 7 a.m., August 15th, right here on Jox. We got a lot to get to today. We're going to get updates from Notre Dame today. We're going to get updates from Lexington, Kentucky today, where we just haven't had a lot of conversation about how things are going up there in Lexington. I think one of the bigger question mark teams in the SEC this season. Where are they going to be? What are they going to be? We'll try to find out a little bit from Matt Jones at 8:30. Brian Driscoll at 8 o'clock going to give us some updates on Notre Dame and everything happening with the Fighting Irish. I wanted to start out because I tried to go back and watch a little bit of film on Ty Simpson last night, Greg, just to sort of get a little bit more of an idea of kind of what he is physically, can be physically, things he's capable of. There's not a ton out there. But if you were to try to point to something for Alabama fans of this is what I could show you that gives me belief in what he could be, even though it might be a very small sample size, what would that be that people have actually seen from Ty Simpson that you would say, this is why you need to believe in this young man?
Well, I mean, I think it's hard to kind of go. If you actually go back and watch the USF game from a couple of years ago, he played the second half of that game. And that was obviously a while ago. Remember, it was raining, though. It was dicey. It was brutal. He made a couple nice throws in that game. If you want to go back a couple years back, not going to be a fun watch for Alabama fans. It's going to be agonizing.
5 of 9, 73 yards in that game.
Yeah. Made a couple nice throws in that game. Remember, that was as a redshirt freshman. If you want to go back to a couple games from last year, there were games where I feel like he did some nice things. The highlight that everyone keeps showing over and over and over again is the one where he's scrambling around and buying time and almost gets sacked, and it's looking like he's going to get sacked, and he ends up somehow evading that sack against Western Kentucky and throwing it downfield 40 yards, 50 yards, however long it is. Guys goes up and makes a play on it. So I think that's a good example of his mobility and strength in the pocket. He also had a little time last year against Wisconsin, but that was kind of methodical, and there wasn't much in that one as well. So a lot of people saying how inexperienced he is. Well, when I took over as a starting quarterback, I had 20 career pass attempts. 20.
You did have a touchdown, though.
Had 2. But 20 career pass attempts. That's not very many. He has 2.5 times what I had with 50 career pass attempts. So
29 of 50 in his career, 381 yards. Has not thrown a touchdown yet. That'll be a pretty cool moment. The starter gets his first career touchdown pass.
I bet he will throw one.
I think I'll go out there with you. Say that'll happen.
You feel good about that?
I think we're going to get that this year.
What are the odds?
I haven't seen the tape on the odds, but I don't feel like they'll be big. Your return on that investment would not be much.
I also think he's a lot more athletic than people realize. That's the one thing that I keep going back to is how athletic this guy is. Now, he's not going to be a guy that's going to run for 1,000 yards this year, but he's got more than enough mobility to make things tough on the opposing defense to keep plays alive and make the off-schedule plays. So the one thing I would also do think is possible, he's going to miss a couple throws. Like, he's going to miss a couple. And that's okay. That doesn't mean he starts to get crazy confident, finds great feel in the football, and doesn't miss any, and turns into a guy that completes 70+% of his passes and is really effective on some of those throws downfield. Maybe that's what he becomes, but I do think there's a possibility he's going to miss a couple. But guess what? So did Jalen. There's a lot of misses there. He won't miss as many as Jalen did. So pretty confident with that development as well.
Yeah, there's not a lot out there for people to go see. There's not a lot you're going to be able to pull up on YouTube, whatever it is, and say, all right, let's see what this young man's made of, why I believe in him, why I am going to go out of my way to say, yes, he's going to be successful. But there are a lot of other reasons kind of behind the scene that we know about, that we've seen, or bits and pieces that we can take and say, this is what I like about it, and this is why it's going to be able to get there. Hugh Freeze, unfortunately, in the news again yesterday. You made a great statement when we talked about the play calling scenario, and we tried to lay it out for folks, even though I believe it was Johnny just says that I just don't like Hugh Freeze and I'm always negative. Feel like I went out of my way to point out that the reason we weren't making a big deal about that situation yesterday was because of the contract situation with Derek Nix, and that was most likely why it was being discussed that way. My issue was, why have you letting it get to this point in the public where things like this that we're about to discuss have become a much bigger deal than they need to be? And there's a video circulating from, I don't even know who the original person was. We'll retweet it from the Mac and Cube Twitter account. You can go watch it there. Damian shared it yesterday from SEC Unfiltered, who stole it from Wizard Vendables at Seaball Wizard.
Seaball, get ball wizard.
Historian, bourbon enthusiast, backup at Wizard Sooner One. Was that his account that got suspended? Boomer Soomer, Thunder Up, Broncos Country, let's ride. Hashtag Buccaneers.
Guys all over the place.
It's a lot of things. A lot of things happening there.
All the things.
But SEC, his quote was on the tweet. It's like a screenshot of somebody's video on their phone, I guess.
Yeah, I love that.
Looks like Auburn is
quality.
having. He said, "Looks like Auburn's having quarterback problems." A media member posted this and quickly deleted it. Keep in mind where said quarterback played a year ago, in which Wizard Venables is sharing. Then SEC Unfiltered, which is an account that at SEC Unfiltered, the best SEC entity on the internet. The beauty's in the banter. SECunfiltered at gmail.com. Hashtag SECU.
And? What you should have.
You can just call yourself anything, can't you?
Oh, of course. No, I mean, you don't have to have any credibility anymore.
I'm not saying this entity doesn't have credibility, but I guess it's one of those things like, I guess it's one of those things like my dad used to tell me all the time, like the more you have to talk about something as it pertains to yourself, the less true it probably is. Like the more you have to convince people about something of yourself, the more falsehood probably lies within that.
Yeah. So what does that have to do with SEC Unfiltered?
You think that's the best SEC entity on the internet?
Oh, is it? Oh, so they're saying the best SEC.
It's in their bio.
No, I think they're probably part of like that, social media world where they just generate clicks. I wouldn't worry too much about their.
I'm not worried. I think it's interesting that you can just slap a label on yourself.
Maybe they think they're the best.
Are you saying they're claiming?
Well, then hold on, John. Should it not say the best SEC entity on the internet, in my opinion? Per me?
IMO?
Yeah. Per myself?
Maybe.
Myself's greatest
How many followers?
SEC entity on the internet?
How many followers they got?
78,000.
Doesn't sound like the best to me.
It's pretty good. What were you going to say, John? I'm sorry.
Are they claiming a title? It feels like if they're saying they're the
Basically.
best. So yeah, that's what we do around here.
Where
You know how many
banner?
SEC? You know how many SEC like
Entities?
associated entities there are? Like all these people that have like never played, never been like okay, they're fan sites basically, which by the way is fantastic. I'm good with that, but don't claim to have like unique access or credibility when it comes to discussing the league.
I don't think they're trying to claim access, but just.
Well, I think a
Again,
video
I'm
from
not-
practice is claiming access.
Well, when you add to it, looks like Hugh Freeze and Jackson Arnold are on the same page. Things going swell at Auburn in fall camp. I would say this. I don't care who the team is or like who the player is or who the coach is. If you are attempting to make a broad judgment about any football team based on a singular play in practice, specifically one in which is not even full speed, it's almost on air. Nah. I mean,
You think that's
but
desperate?
here I am falling for it, talking about it. Maybe I'm dumb.
Yeah, I
And
think
that's
so.
the problem here, is that I see things like this and I feel like this needs to be discussed and clarified for folks as to the complete absurdity that it is to have real conversations about this. Like, do you think you can remember verbatim what you said in the office when I asked you about if you had seen this in the show today?
I said I've seen lots of stuff from practice, but maybe not this.
But like when you actually saw it, there was like a sentence and a half that you said, and then it was literally you placed a period at the end of it, and we could have just moved on with our day right there.
Yes. Well, I think it's amazing to me how people want to draw conclusions off of their preconceived notions of how things are going.
Just give me what you saw right there.
He took a sack, and if he had thrown an interception, people would have been freaking out.
Yeah, Greg said, I mean, if you're the quarterback here, you have to get the ball out on time. He didn't. But if he takes a sack, he's probably going to be crushed just as much, and Hugh Freeze going to yell at him either way. And then Greg follows that up with, the hilarious thing to me is people are upset about Hugh Freeze yelling at his quarterback. Coach Saban ripped guys multiple times a day, and everyone used to think that was so cool that he would rip their guys all day in practice, but now it's problematic with another coach who's doing it. Kirby's doing this 87 times per practice, by the way.
Yes.
I can promise you that. Billy Napier is doing this 187 times a day in practice. Jeff Lebby is doing this 92 times a day in practice.
The quarterback's getting ripped most of the time. I mean, you're
probably
getting
more so in this drill than any other.
100%. The offensive line coach used to yell down during one-on-one pass rush at the quarterback, "Get it out!" We're in 7-on-7. He's on the other side of the field.
Yeah. Pass pro.
No, he's watching whether or not, get it out!
We ain't gonna hold up with this guy over here. If he's
but it's like, I mean, it's just amazing to me. It's like everyone wants to draw this conclusion. Guess what? Like, you take a sack in 7-on-7, you're getting yelled at. You're getting yelled at by somebody.
By the way, if you take a sack in team, you're getting yelled at. If you take a sack in center quarterback exchange, you're getting yelled at.
If you take a
when
sack,
are you not getting yelled at for taking a sack?
If you take a sack in center quarterback exchange, you got problems.
You should probably
I would like to think that you can get it out, and that's it.
Jackson Arnold should probably get yelled at if he takes a sack in NCAA 24, 25, whichever one's out.
If someone is playing with him and he's not involved, he should get yelled at. Like Twitterverse, please yell at Jackson Arnold. I got sacked last night. But no, it's the reality. I mean, you're getting yelled at if you take a sack in 7-on-7. It's just, I mean, because it's the ball is to get the ball out. Like, I mean, it happens. I took off and ran a couple times in 7-on-7. Like, not really ran.
That,
but like,
by the way, is as bogus as it gets.
But you jog to the line of scrimmage, you simulate taking off. Like that. It's not like you are actually going like juking out defenders in the open field.
Watch me leave the pocket with no rush, guys.
Yeah. Actually, you do that from time to time. You practice scramble drill. Like they'll say, hey, on this one, you call a play and then roll right. So we actually do have simulated scramble drill 7-on-7 from time to time too. Like that does happen. But beside the point, sometimes they cover them and I'm not throwing an interception. So you can yell at me for not getting the ball out. That's fine. I'm not throwing a pick. I'm not giving the defense the satisfaction of me being forced to throw it when I wouldn't in real live action.
Let me ask you a serious question here. In this drill, in 7-on-7, when there are, for folks that don't know, there are wide receivers and DBs, and that's it. There's no offensive line. There's no defensive line. Do you even have a running back?
Yeah.
Okay. That's an option.
Do you even have a center?
I never went to that.
Count them.
I didn't go over there.
Oh, that's on you.
That's where the coach does the old, where he fake snaps it to you. Like that's ever really feels like a real snap.
we used to have managers in the NFL that would snap it, like legit snap it. But no, we had.
Did they have
to
wear like football pants at practice?
No, they would just do it in shorts. That's disgusting. It's disgusting thinking back on it.
But let me think about this. Should a quarterback throw the ball away in this drill?
No.
That's just not a part of what happens here.
No.
I don't know. I've never wasted my time watching this.
I mean, you have mostly like 5 seconds. Some teams have a buzzer. You have 4 seconds in some cases. Like, if the ball's not out in 4 seconds, the defense wins the drill. Like, the wins the snap. So, no, I mean, it's not uncommon to not throw the ball. It does happen from time to time.
Let me ask this question before we go to break quickly. And Damien's the one that was in tune with this, and like he saw it, he retweeted. Maybe we need to ask him because I don't know what the vibe from a lot of the people are or is pertaining to this. Because I personally don't care. Are people more? Is it more that the coach was yelling at the player, and that's what everybody's up in arms about, or is it that he's yelling at this quarterback, so that automatically pushes people to say he's not going to be good? Like, what's the holdup here? Because if it's the coach yelling at the player, and this has you people up in arms, We might need to have Rick Trickett story time again on the show today.
Well, it's a little bit.
That was literally pre-flex for us in practice. Like over on the side field doing the things we did before practice, we would get yelled at in a similar fashion to that.
Yeah.
I just hope that that's not what people are looking at saying, oh, things are collapsing.
Well, it's a little bit off of the Georgia-Auburn game last year where they're literally yelling at his quarterback and the quarterback's yelling back on the sideline. Like, is that not – that is stemming from that incident last year. Is it not?
I don't know.
It has to be. It's low-hanging fruit and it's ridiculous, but that's 100% what it's coming from. And that's 100% why people are making a big deal about it. And in the process of making a big deal about it, they're showing how little they know. If you responded to that tweet and said, oh, trouble in paradise, you are showing how little you know. You are. I mean, it's the realities. Like, coaches yell at players, and sometimes practice gets heated. It is not an indicator of what's to come. Or it might be. Guess what? Coaches yell at players. It happens. It's not an indicator of a bad relationship. It's not an indicator of a fractured locker room. It's purely an indicator of competition. And the coach is trying to help the player become their very best. It's not. If it's your team, you probably love it if you love your coach. Saban yells at the player. See, that's what I'm talking about. He's got to coach him up. Freeze yells at a player. Harsin yells at a player. I don't know why. He's just a kid. Like, come on, man. He's just a kid.
It's all melting. The whole thing is just
melting.
melting.
The whole thing's a disaster.
So it's but Bama?
No, it's any Kirby yells at a player.
Team.
Kirby yells at a player. See, I love how intense he is.
Getting after him.
I love how he's holding those guys accountable. And then let's do another guy. Billy Napier 2 years ago yells at a player, I just don't understand why he's got to be so hard on the boys. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's all a matter of perspective. Really it only reaffirms how you feel about your coach.
I do understand now, and yesterday I think helped me put a lot of it in perspective that it's just beyond low-hanging fruit right now, and that there are a lot of darts being thrown at Hugh Freeze and Auburn, and I'm trying not to buy into it. I'm trying to avoid allowing that to be a real part of the conversation here on this show. But when I see this, number one, I need to know what people are up in arms about. I need to know what people are freaking out about, because this is literally nothing. Zero. But I guess we get 161 retweets and 1,500 likes, then, yeah, that's mission accomplished.
78,000. Loyal followers. Do they have a podcast or anything?
I don't know.
Everyone has a podcast.
That's fair. Specifically in my house.
There's over 1 million podcasts in the United States.
Is that it?
I'd say 1 in 300 is kind of a lot.
How do you even find out how many podcasts are based out of the United States? Apple Podcasts have those numbers?
Spotify
probably have those numbers?
Probably.
Audio Boom have those numbers? Who's got those numbers? I need those.
I don't know.
One response, heaven forbid Saban ever had a meltdown when his quarterback didn't do something he wanted him to do. And then you got other guys that are doing the old still shots of this guy was open. I love those. The still shot. It's holding. Look, he's open. Third read. All right, so we'll move on from that. I'm glad we wasted our time on it. I feel like it needed to be addressed slightly, somewhat, because I didn't understand what we were looking at or why there was an issue with it or why we wanted to make this into something it's not. It's just a practice moment. Quarterback needs to throw the ball. I felt like we have had more conversations about Jackson Arnold not throwing the ball than all the best SEC entities on the internet. But then again, we can always get better. We can always try harder. So that's what Train's going to do for you, because Train knows that this Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal. Don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Train cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand 11 consecutive years. They're the official cooling partner here at Jox. Find a comfort specialist near you at Train.com. It's hard to stop a Train. All right, when we come back, speaking of quarterbacks, Which portal quarterback has the best season in 2025? We will discuss right after this on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Glad you're with us. Trying to get an idea where folks were on our previous conversation. I don't know. Some people I think are with it, against it. I don't even want to read them because I don't know if it's real. It's about as fake as these welders and blowers I see on the internet every day.
There you go.
But everything is real all of a sudden. Like, there's some things I'm seeing videos for on the internet, and there's no way they work that well.
Well,
there's just literally no way that a new welder gun welds a train track back together in 7 seconds. It doesn't happen. There's not a hairdryer-sized blower that takes a football field of leaves and blows them 20 yards away in 4 seconds.
You don't know
things
that.
are not real.
You don't know that.
CGI, it's a hoax, and I don't appreciate their ruse.
This guy, first off, he doesn't like that you can say anything about yourself and it's true. Now, something clearly on the internet that's real, he's not believing. Like,
exactly. I mean,
what's he
I
gonna
see
say?
You can
videos.
say whatever
My
you
gosh.
want, but it's the self-proclamated titles of success that I'm not okay with. Like, you're not Ted DiBiase. You don't go out and build the $1 million belt and all of a sudden proclaim you're a champion. It doesn't work that way.
Could.
No, don't. If you do, you better have a graphic with it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've been tired. I've noticed this years ago. I mean, And it all started to me when I started to realize this, how often Richard Sherman would refer to himself as the best cornerback in the league. I'm the best corner in the league. Dude, you play squat too.
How many NFL players, honestly, do we ever think have referenced themselves as the best in the league at what they do?
It's only at like corner. I don't know why.
I don't know. Steve Smith may have, and he may have been right at a certain point in time.
Did he really though? Like,
I think he probably did. I think there was, but he was asked. I don't think that he just did it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I think Dion probably did at a point in time.
Yes, corner.
Yes. I'm trying to think of who else may have. I think Lawrence Taylor, if we had access to things that he said back then, probably would have let everybody know that he was the best pass rusher in the league and would have been right.
Yeah,
not a ton, though. There's not a ton of guys that are out there just saying, I am the best. Thanks for watching.
Well, there's some guys that say that actually are the best. And then there's some guys that say that where it's like, dude, you're not close. It's amazing to me how those that say they're not, that aren't close, yet say they're the best, how people actually listen to them from time to time. Or how people don't draw any of their own conclusions. Like I'm sitting here looking at the all-time AP All-Americans that was released yesterday. Did you see this?
No, but if you're mad about it, I want to talk about it.
Well, I'm not really mad about it. I just think it's foolish. All right, let's just go through quickly.
Okay.
All right. Wide receivers, Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald.
I was going to go Larry Fitzgerald first.
Hall of Famers.
Honestly, I didn't know how many of Randy Moss's years would have been in Division I. So
Hall of Famers.
If you could throw to one receiver that played college football right now, who would it be?
Currently play college football?
No. That ever played college football?
Larry Fitzgerald. He was unbelievable.
I might go Anquan Bolden.
He was good. All right, but 2 Hall of Famers, correct?
Yes.
Pro football Hall of Famers, like all-time great, top 3 at the top 5 at the position at very worst.
Yep.
Yes.
Like at very worst. All right. Tackle, Orlando Pace, Bill Fralick.
Well, Bill Fralick could get it now.
Bill Fralick, 2-time All-Pro.
No, Bill Fralick was not only a great college football player, he was a great NFL player.
Yeah, 3-time All-Pro, 88, 86, 87, 88. 3-time All-Pro.
Competed in the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania 3, I believe.
Let's go.
1980s all-decade team in the NFL.
Real athlete.
All right, and we don't need to discuss Orlando Pace. First ballot across the board, correct?
But nothing against Bill Fralick, but there are a couple that I feel like you could probably put ahead of him.
Okay, fair enough.
Ogden, Baselli, Jones are 3 that
totally fine. Who cares? All 3 of those
have not seen the tape of Munoz in college.
We're talking about Hall of Famers, though. Like 1980s all-decade team, borderline Hall of Famers, whatever
Bill
you want.
Fralick's legit. Yes.
All right, so pretty good. All right, now let's move to guard. John Hanna. Okay.
Some people may tell you that he's the greatest offensive lineman to ever play the game, but
Okay.
other than that, I don't know what his real. I need to see his internet credentials.
Okay, fair enough. Jim Parker, Hall of Famer.
Big time player.
Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Yep.
All right, so we now have gone through 6 names, all Hall of Famers.
Correct.
All right, next, Chuck Bednarik, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Pretty good player.
I think. I didn't see the tape. Played a little before my time, but Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, tight end, Brock Bowers, well on his way.
I mean, we haven't seen many do what he did, so
He had the greatest rookie year in the history of the NFL. He's an all-pro
at the
already.
position, yes.
All right, running backs, Barry Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
This is an impossible task.
Barry Sanders, Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Just look at the numbers.
Herschel Walker. In college football.
College?
But in the NFL, Herschel was good. He just wasn't up to what they thought he was going to be, correct?
Well, there was the whole USFL thing also where
Yeah, it
he
was
bounced
weird.
back and forth. He was also used as a kick returner in the NFL, which but that's a take your pick of about 6 guys that you literally are not going to go wrong. So, but Herschel's fine. Yeah, he was incredible. He won the Heisman. They won a national championship. Like he was Georgia's Cam Newton when they won a national title.
Is that good?
I think so.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good company to be in.
So
not
we
bad.
see where you're going to get mad. Who's the center?
We already said it, Chuck Bednarik.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so we just basically listed off like the whole team.
Fullback?
Like
Corey Schlesinger?
There is no fullback.
Tommy Vardell?
Well, let's just go. Let's
what are we
quickly go
doing
to the defense, just so we're all on the same page. All
Okay.
right, Hugh Green.
Yeah,
All right, Hall of Famer. Randy White,
pretty
the
good.
Manster, Hall of Famer. And Ndamukong Suh, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
College has to be there.
Bronco Ndamukong Suh will be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh no, I said in college he has to be there. Yeah.
Well, he'll be in the Hall of Fame in the pro football. Like, he's one of the greatest defensive tackles. The guy played 18 years at D tackle.
He didn't have. I'm saying he didn't have Aaron Donald's NFL career, is what I'm saying, or Warren Sapp's.
He had
NFL
a pretty
career.
good career, dude.
Yes, but I'm just. We're in agreement. He should be there.
Bronco Nagurski, Hall of Famer.
All timer.
All Pro Football Hall of Famer. Dick Butkus, Hall of Famer. Derek Thomas, Hall of Famer. Chris Spielman. I think he's not a Hall of Famer, but he was a dang
College
good
football Hall of Famer. He had a neck injury. He
had a neck
career.
injury. He got hurt, so it doesn't.
Chris Spielman was the man.
He was incredible. First team All Pro, 2-time second team All Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, NFL solo tackles leader.
Kuechly at off the ball.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Charles Woodson, Hall of Famer. Yes. Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer. Ronnie Lott, Hall of Famer. Ed Reed, Hall of Famer.
Yep.
So we just went down an entire, literally all-time great players at the position. And then there's Tim Tebow. Like, you're going to tell me that Tim Tebow is the greatest college football quarterback of all time? Guys, great career, not denying that.
All right, Brian Kelly.
No, I'm just saying great career, not denying
Hold
that.
on, Brian Kelly hates Tim Tebow.
But on a team, on
Let him off the hook.
No, on a roster full of like Hall of Famer, everyone's a Hall of Famer, with the exception of the guys whose careers got cut short due to injury.
Facts.
Chris Spielman was a 4-time All-Pro, not a Hall of Famer, but a 4-time All-Pro, NFL solo tackles leader in '94. If you look at the other guy that's Brock Bowers, not in yet, but I feel, assuming he continues on his trajectory, there's a real strong chance. Herschel not in the Hall of Fame, but
I'm
splitting
not
hairs.
Yeah, right. We can pull the tape.
Okay. And then Bill Fralick not in the Hall of Fame, but a member of the 1980s all-decade team in the NFL. Like, we're talking about some of the most gifted players in the history of the sport at their position. And yet there's Tim, who was a great player. No one's denying he's a great player. But like the mythical status that came with Tim is like just has elevated him up to the level in which he's like compared to the all-time greats from a talent standpoint at the position. It's amazing to me.
I see where you're going in that. Listen.
Like, would you rather have Tim Tebow or Peyton Manning?
That's not a real question.
Well, it should be. Like, everyone gives me a hard time. Like, oh, you're just surrounded by great players. Well, what?
If you're asking me honestly, there are 3. When you're talking about college quarterbacks, it is a 3-person race, and out of 3, the decision should be made, and that is Cam Newton 1, Joe Burrow 2, Lamar Jackson 3. I don't feel like I've told you guys, Cam had the most impressive season of any player in college football history. I don't care what you want to say about it. It doesn't matter.
1 year.
There has not been an NFL reception or an NFL rush attempt, not by him, who played on that team. Only one lineman on that team started a game in the NFL, and it was due to injury. It's not a knock on any of those guys. It's just take it into account. Lamar Jackson had the most impressive Heisman season of any player ever, because his offensive line was absolutely atrocious. They weren't even average. They weren't even kind of good. They were terrible. I mean, really bad, terrible.
Yeah.
The fact that guy lived to win the Heisman that year is unreal and deserves all the credit for it. And Joe Burrow put up the best numbers in the history of college football. Now, yes, he had Jamar Chase. Yes, he had Jordan Jefferson. Yes, he had
a bad start.
Joe Moore award-winning offensive line. Yes, he had a running back that got drafted in the first round. It's fine. But you know what? He still completed those passes. He still completed the passes, and he still got the ball out on time, and he still avoided sacks. So he still won a national championship. You can say what you want about who was with him, but you can subtract a smidge of what Burrow did because of that. But you also have to add to what Cam and Lamar did because of that, the opposite end of it. So for me, college quarterback, it's those 3. Like, is Mike Vick in that conversation? Probably.
Yes.
Is Peyton Manning in that conversation?
100%.
Absolutely. There are a lot of guys. Vince Young in that conversation? Yeah, he should be.
Vince Young, another great example. What about John Elway? If we want to go back a little further.
I hadn't seen the tape on Elway.
My God, dude. It's ridiculous.
At Stanford.
Like,
but,
just
I don't know. But, I watched him enough at Denver to know he's pretty good at what he did. So.
Yeah, well, he was ridiculous. I'll just go ahead and tell you. Like, just absolutely ridiculous in college. Like, what about Andrew Luck?
He was a dog.
Pretty good player.
You think? Like, Andrew Luck, to me, that's who I'd go with. Like, That guy, if you look at his teammates, and not that they weren't good, but like they weren't elite. Name one teammate that Andrew Luck had. The guy took Stanford.
David DeCastro.
Okay, one. Right guard.
I think he had like 3 NFL tight ends too.
Yeah, he had a couple of solid tight ends.
Man, I gave you asked for
Kobe,
one. I gave
Kobe
you one.
Fleener.
Kobe Fleener was really good.
He was
in
good.
college.
He was good.
Forgot about
All right, let's.
But I'm just saying, like, to me, it's just amazing. It's like Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer.
I see where you're going, but I want to at least have the conversation on the other side of this. And 800-239-9569. You can text in 205-834-9450. What are the other side of Tebow or when it comes to a college quarterback that you would want to go win one football game with? Next on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, we're talking college football quarterbacks. McElroy a little upset on the all-time AP
Not
team.
upset. I just am amazed by it. It just goes back to the thing, like if people think something, you're not changing their mind.
Or if you say it about yourself?
Well, no. If people think something, you're not changing their mind. Like people have their decision, their opinions made up, and it's amazing. It's just like I think Tim was a phenomenal college football player and had one of the best college football careers you could ever imagine. Is amazing. I just don't think he should be the greatest quarterback in the history of college football. That's just my opinion. I don't think that's mean. I don't think that's negative. I just think it's an acknowledgement of how good some other guys were.
Well, they don't need to call themselves the best because they know they are. Game Day Men's Health wants to help you feel better. If you're feeling on edge, lacking sleep, lacking energy, have brain fog, they can help you. If you want to lose weight, they can help you. There are multiple programs to get you back to your normal self. When you walk in the door, mention Mac and Cube, save 10% on any service that they offer. And here's what you're going to do to be a part of it. You're going to go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com, sign up for the free consultation. They now have an office open in Trustville, so to make it more convenient for you. They're open in Tuscaloosa as well. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com, sign up for the free consultation. You'll go in, free PSA test, free testosterone test. They'll know everything they need to know about you. Then they'll present the options. Locker room environment, very cool, friendly, not going to pressure you into different things that you don't need. Book that consultation today at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. All right, so if for folks that maybe weren't tuned in, the all-time AP team came out in college football yesterday. I didn't really see this, spend time on it. We've been going through quarterbacks that maybe should be there instead. So Tebow was first team?
Tebow is number one. Yes.
So I'm going to ask the
along with 20 Pro Football Hall of Famers.
We went through most of the other positions, and there wasn't a ton of
so many great players
on a lot of the other guys that were listed at other positions. But I'm going to ask you guys right now, just straight up, you got to go win one game. You don't know your system. You don't know your cast. You want Tebow or Manziel?
Manziel.
Tebow.
Okay. You want Tebow or Vic?
Tebow. I want to be a ground and pound outfit.
I'd take Tebow.
I'm gonna give you one that people aren't gonna like, and I don't think people are gonna like the answers. I want you to give it a good 3 count before you answer this.
Okay.
John, I want you to answer this one also. You don't know what you have to go win one football game. Tim Tebow or Aaron Murray?
Aaron Murray was very good, but I would say Tim.
I would lean Tim.
Same.
Aaron Murray was a really good college football player.
If maybe your heart desires a little more balance,
right?
But there's
the ability to make a few different throws, but still have the mobility to break you down. I'm just placing that one on the table for discussion.
I'm
That's
good
all
with
I'm
it.
doing.
I'm fine with it. I think it's a nice, interesting one to add to the mix that hasn't been discussed just
He's
yet.
not a guy that people would throw in, but you go look at the numbers and it's kind of like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
He played a lot of football for sure.
He did. Well, if we're talking about greatest careers,
He's up.
and that's what people are getting credit for.
Yeah.
Apparently.
He should be a part of that one then.
It's not talent. It's career achievement, which, by the way, is great.
So let's play the other side of this. There are parts of this that we haven't discussed. The intangible portion of this, the intensity portion of this, the toughness portion of this. Having a guy playing quarterback that feels like would put his hand in the date if asked to. Those are all things that people are probably taking into consideration here. Would you not agree?
No, I think people are taking into consideration the fact that they've been told over and over and over and over and over again for the last 20 years that he's the greatest player of all time.
I do think people are taking personality into consideration.
100%
And
they are.
and I'm not saying nice in front of the camera or doing amazing things through charitable work in
Absolutely.
his spare time. I'm talking about the personality on the field, the leadership. I mean, post-game Ole Miss speech, right? Like
But
that.
he's like the only guy ever that gets credit for that.
That is,
You know what I mean? Like,
that is fair.
But he also felt like he was a little bit more of a competitor than a lot of other guys out there. That ability to find a way to get you a yard, get you a win, not afraid to take a hit, to get dirty, those type of things. They feel like they're a little extra with him than they are a lot of other guys that we've been talking about.
sure.
So is it okay to place him ahead of some because he brought those intangibles to the table that maybe other people did, but they weren't put full forward facing like his were.
For me, no.
So we don't know.
For me, no. But like, yeah, I understand if people are allowing that to influence their decision.
Okay. How many quarterbacks do you think you should be ahead of him, or would you have ahead of him? We've named at least 4.
Andrew Luck to me is the best college quarterback. Like, that guy was so ridiculous. It was just not fair. It was just not fair. The guy was unbelievable. And I know he didn't win a national championship. I know he didn't win a Heisman Trophy. He should have won a Heisman Trophy.
I'm going to throw a couple others just on the table for you.
Okay.
And again, I want you, maybe we don't have time to go a full 3 count for all these, but at least just give it like a good 2 count.
All right.
To go win one game today, And see, this is where personality is going to really be hard for people to distinguish. Tim Tebow or RG3?
It's a tough one to ask me. I mean, RG in college was great, but I'd probably still go Tim.
I'm going RG3.
I think I would too. If you're going with a running back, might as well go with one that can.
Run away from you?
Yeah.
The guy had legit track speed.
He can roll.
Out there.
And I know the tape isn't as easily consumable here, but just based on what you've heard, what you've read statistically, Tim Tebow or Andre Ware?
Two before my time. I haven't seen enough tape.
Tim Tebow or Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence and Ware, easy.
Tim Tebow or Colt McCoy?
Colt.
Because he had all the same things, right? Tough, take a hit,
Yep.
get dirty.
Didn't win a championship, didn't win a Heisman. So I can understand why people would put.
Didn't have near the cast either.
No, didn't.
Yeah,
But that doesn't apply.
He had
in
Jordan
Florida.
Shipley, though.
Ship
It was really good.
Yeah,
Ship was a great player.
I'd go Colt McCoy.
Okay.
Got hurt in a netty.
Tim Tebow or Steve McNair?
Aaron McNair.
Before my time.
Still.
I watched him play in person.
Why
at
are you not
Stanford. I'd probably
asking
take
the
Steve
question,
McNair.
Tim Tebow or Andrew Luck?
I feel like you answered that.
How come you haven't?
That's tough for me. I'm
All right, Tim Tebow or Trevor Lawrence?
I don't believe that Andrew Luck was as good of a passer as you are saying. I think he was really good, but you're making it sound like he never threw an incompletion. Like you're almost asking John Elway or Andrew Luck better passer, and like for me, that's a no contest.
Those are comparable.
Wow.
Elway had a little more arm.
Just a smidge.
Doesn't matter. They were both highest possible level of
You're putting Andrew
quality.
Luck on Peyton Manning's pedestal. I'm not even talking about
Yes.
the NFL career. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I
I am.
I don't need the NFL career.
I absolutely am.
Okay.
Let me ask you one because you haven't asked this one yet.
I would take Trevor Lawrence. by the way.
Deshaun Watson or Tim Tebow in college?
I might take Tebow on that one. Deshaun was great.
Pretty good.
Tim Tebow or Marcus Mariota?
Marcus Martin. Come on now.
It had to be done.
Marcus Mariota.
Mariota was really good. Man.
Thank you.
Tebow's better though.
No, he's not.
I'd probably go Tebow.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
that's obvious.
Oh, now-
I think it's close. I mean, I think Mariota's really good.
I have
Great.
I have two more very interesting ones. Do we need another break here? Or we go to the top? We'll take a break. When we come back, I have two more names that I feel like are going to be very difficult decisions in this conversation. We'll do it next right here on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, we have a text into the show from a loyal participant, usually on Thursdays or Fridays in the fall. Tebow or Cam? It is not even a discussion for me. It is literally not even. No, I won't even debate it. I won't even allow it to be debated. It's Cam Newton.
Tebow started in front of Cam.
Yeah, but Cam was a child.
Didn't Todd Helton start in front of Peyton Manning?
Well, he's a baseball player.
It doesn't. He did.
He was a baseball
Better player.
Better average, hit more home runs. How many times Peyton hit for the cycle?
More versatile athlete.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, here are the two that came to mind that I thought would be intriguing questions when it comes to this. If you missed this, the all-time AP team came out. We went through all the positions. Most not arguable. Definitely have other guys that you could throw in there and be just as satisfied with. But quarterback was Tim Tebow, and Greg said, is this right? Is this where it should be? Is he the one that should be there of all college quarterbacks? Before we get to that, if you want to be a part of the Jox Kickoff Party, Damian, tell our listeners how they can do that.
Yeah, celebrate the kickoff to college football with us at the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jox Kickoff Party at Regents Field next Thursday, August 21st. And the only way to go is by winning tickets. Today is the absolutely last day of qualifying. To enter to win a pair of tickets for you and a guest, text the keyword FINAL and your full name to 205-834-9450. Again, the keyword is FINAL plus your full name to 205-834-9450. Winners are drawn and notified daily. For more information, visit joxfm.com.
Jamie Bailey tweets in, Tebow or McElroy? Give me McElroy. Better quarterback in my opinion.
Yeah.
No, that's kind. I appreciate that.
But no, I will say this.
Not necessary.
Well, no, but better quarterback, yes. I would actually agree.
Yeah.
Better football player? No. And that's okay, and that's fine.
100%.
It's like I used to. It's like I said about Dak Prescott in his career at Mississippi State. His junior year, he was one of the best football players in the SEC. His senior year, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC.
Yes,
and there was a
terrific.
massive difference between those two seasons for him.
Excellent.
It's just those are very different things, and that's fine. Tim Tebow. Again, I'm going to need to take a breath before you answer this. Okay.
I'm listening.
Tim Tebow or Baker Mayfield?
Gosh, it's a good one. Baker, I think, is the most underrated college football player maybe ever. Nobody, he never gets listed among like the all-time greats in college football.
And he's perfect for this discussion because people don't like him.
Yep.
And people Tim Tebow
Love him.
like him.
Love him.
I mean, it's almost a perfect contrast, really.
It really
If
is.
you tell me I got one game,
Baker.
I'm going Baker.
I'm taking Baker Mayfield.
Baker was a dude.
Kyler Murray.
Baker.
No, Kyler Murray or Tebow.
Exactly.
She'll take Baker? Okay, good. That's great.
Kyler was a handful in college football, man. Like, he was a handful.
Here's another one that nobody's ever going to allow in this conversation. And I feel like it's going to be an easy answer like that. But if you thought about it, and the cast is going to be brought up, Tim Tebow or Matt Leinart?
I go Tebow.
Here's my thing about Matt Leinart in college.
Leinart was good.
I watched Leinert's games. I know he had great players. He also had great college players that didn't amount to be great in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like Dwayne Jarrett, who was an unbelievable college receiver. Reggie Bush gets a lot of run, but I mean, he had another running back that could just truck you on a regular basis.
No doubt.
They had good offensive linemen. Frosty Rucker was DN. Who's the tight end that they had? They had a pretty good tight end.
They
I
did.
remember also.
Yeah, I don't recall.
But here's the thing about watching Matt Leinart in college. That dude didn't miss much.
He never missed. He's super accurate.
That's, I know
Not
people
a big
are just
arm.
going to go Tebow, but he didn't miss a lot, man.
No, Leinart was excellent. But he didn't offer the same mobility problems that Tim did, so I can understand why people would lean towards Tim just because of the rushing numbers. I don't have a problem with anyone taking Tim in that argument.
Charlie Ward or Tim Tebow?
Before my time.
Athlete, Charlie Ward.
Better point guard.
Exactly. I ain't never seen Tim Tebow.
How many assists Tebow got in the NBA?
Right.
Oh, so that's what we're going off of now.
Charlie Ward was different for his time, man. I'm just telling you. Charlie Ward's one of the guys. There are a couple out there, like I mentioned Damian Craig running bootlegs yesterday. Like, you put them 20 years later, we're having a totally different conversation about the kind of football player they were.
Imagine him 20, like right now.
Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous he's playing right now. won the Heisman when he was hardly allowed to run the football. So yeah, it would be crazy. Brian Driscoll's going to update us on the Notre Dame quarterback battle when we come back next on Jox. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is 8 a.m., hour number 2 underway. We'll come back to our college football quarterback conversation here in just a moment. There may be a couple of Notre Dame quarterbacks Brian Driscoll will throw ahead of Tim Tebow. We'll have the conversation about this year's quarterback competition, the health of the offensive line, and more for the Irish in just a moment. But don't forget, you can listen online, joxfm.com. Apps in your app store, iPhone, Android. Go download that for free. That'll give you the podcast. You can listen live. It'll direct you to YouTube. Search Jox945 on YouTube. You can watch us live each and every day, or just tell your home speaker to enable the Jox skill and listen there at your house.
Bill Smith Buick GMC is the GMC Dealer of the Year, the national champion of GMC dealers. They're amazing. You go take the short drive up to Coleman, you'll see what I'm talking about. The second you walk in the door, the savings are ridiculous. Like a 2025 GMC Sierra SLT, $14,000 off the sticker. A Buick Encore GX, sporty economical SUV, $5,000 off the sticker. You can get it for under $25,000. That's an amazing deal for a nice, solid SUV. Telling you, take the short drive up to Coleman. The experience that you'll have with their sales staff is off the charts. Andy Cole and Jonathan Yeager have created a great culture. That's why they've won 5 consecutive national championships. That's why they've won 8 overall. It's a dynasty, and it's right up the road from us, up I-65, exit 310, Highway 31. You can also shop online, have it delivered right to your driveway at BillSmithBuickGMC.com.
By the way, I wrote down like 4 more really good back and forths on this topic, so we're going to come back to it. Tebow or who you would take. Brian Driscoll covers Notre Dame, joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. Brian, the all-time AP team came out, which I'll just say, and I think you'll agree with me, Quentin Nelson not being one of the guards is egregious. That would be the one offensive line position that I would have a problem with, because I think he did things in games that maybe no other human has done at that position. Should Tim Tebow be the first team AP quarterback all-time in college football, or is there another quarterback you think you might have ahead of him?
Oh, I think Tim Tebow was great. I have a hard time going with all time. I mean, I guess kind of part of it is when do we start all time? You know, so it was a very modern flavor to the all time list. But I mean, I know it's just one season, but you know, Vince Young was pretty special that one season. Has the same number of national titles. You have Matt Leinart. What he did at USC was pretty special. I think Tim Tebow was a great winner and a great warrior, but I kind of go through Baker Mayfield even recently was pretty amazing for 3 seasons at Oklahoma.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and if you want to go like old school, the problem is the numbers are so different in the modern era. The last 25 years, the numbers are so much different. It's like the NFL. You go back and you're like, well, how was Joe Namath that good? He threw more picks, he threw interceptions. You're like, well, that was the era. That's kind of how the game was back then.
You could tackle receivers before they even catch the ball. It was a different era.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, quarterback discussion competition, always something that we're excited about here on Mac and Cube. Now, tell us what's going on. Based on everything I'm hearing, it sounds like Kenny Minchey might actually have the inside track over CJ Carr, much to the chagrin of a lot of Notre Dame fans. I happen to think it's great, but because his mobility might make them very difficult to defend, and it tells me maybe he's made the strides necessary as a passer to improve in that area as well. So help me understand what's going on with the quarterback spot right now.
You know, obviously depends on who you talk to. I do think it's a close battle. I would argue that Kenny Minchey right now does have the edge, although there's still some very important moments coming up these next couple of days. They've got a big scrimmage on Sunday. I think really what it boils down to, Greg, from who I've been talking to, it's CJ Carr makes more of the splashy plays. He makes more of like the big impressive plays, the big arm throws, but he also has a bit of that gunslinger mentality. So those things also lead to more, you know, turnovers and mistakes, where what Kenny has done this fall camp is he's just been more steady. He doesn't make as many of the big plays, but he doesn't make the big turnovers. And Marcus Freeman's a guy, as a former linebacker and defensive coordinator, that he's going to put a lot of value in not turning the ball over. And I think Kenny's improved enough where he's become a more consistent player, that there's more of a faith that he can go out there. And then if things break down, he's got the mobility to go out there and make plays with his legs. He's not Riley Leonard, though. And that's something that some fans, Notre Dame fans, need to understand is, yes, he's a good athlete and he can run. He's not Riley Leonard. He's not that kind of player. He's more of an Ian Book type of player. You know, the occasional design run, but more of a scrambler, move the chains when things break down type of player. But, you know, I think that Kenny's going to have to learn to be willing to take more chances, and CJ's going to have to learn when not to take some chances. I think that's going to be the key for these two players. But I'm more and more confident, Greg, that we're going to see both of those guys at some point in time this season.
Is it because of where the team is also right now, Brian, and Brian Driscoll joining us to discuss Notre Dame and what's happening through fall camp so far, of obviously some injuries to the O-line, but still going to be a strength of the team, tight end strength of the team, Jeremiah Love, one of the best running backs in college football, receiver been upgraded again. You may not need super playmaker at quarterback right now for this football team.
Well, I think that's absolutely part of it. You don't need an elevator necessarily for the regular season. I still think that's needed when you get to the postseason, but maybe Kenny becomes that. Maybe CJ eventually wins the job and limits some of the mistakes, and he brings that. But when you look at the talent around them, you look at the defense they have, that's the one takeaway from fall camp. The biggest takeaway I've had, Cole, is this defense might even be better than it was last year, talent-wise. Now, we'll see if Chris Ash can do as good of a job as Al Golden, but talent-wise, it's going to be an outstanding defense. And do you really want to be putting them in a lot of situations where they've got short fields to defend? My counter argument is you have a defense that can overcome some mistakes by a younger quarterback that can also go make plays. So at the end of the day, it's really a win-win situation from a talent standpoint with the two quarterbacks. You just got to figure out who gives us the best chance to win in week one, but also gives us the best chance to win in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and title game. That may be the same guy. It may not be. And that's the difficulty in front of Marcus Freeman when you do have two talented players.
How would you assess just kind of the development of the other pieces on the offense? We know tight end's a problem because of injury. We hope Eli Raridan can be who he was always destined to become, but injuries are of concern with him and with Bauman just shutting it down because he tore his ACL. It seems like it's become a bit of a problem position, but I am optimistic about what they have at wide receiver. How have you evaluated kind of their weapons and their development this year?
Well, tight end will be fine as long as Eli Raridan is healthy. If he gets injured again, then it's a major problem. And I think what you're going to see, Greg, is you're going to see fewer of the 12 personnel stuff that Notre Dame has relied so much on. And that was always going to be part of the plan just because of how deep they are. We saw the emergence of Jaden Greathouse last year, and you saw Jordan Faison perform well against Georgia and Indiana, and then you bring in Fields and Pauling. We've also seen some young guys really step up. Micah Gilbert, who's a redshirt freshman from North Carolina, has had a really strong fall camp. Elijah Burris, the son of Plexico Burris, has had a really strong fall camp. There's a lot more confidence in the depth and the playmaking ability at that position to where Notre Dame does feel they're going to be more balanced this year. And they know they need to be more balanced this year. And Sullivan Absher is supposed to step in for Charles Jagasaw. He gets banged up a little bit. And as you'd expect, Cole, from Notre Dame football, one talented offensive lineman goes down, you just open up another opportunity for a five-star guy, Gerby Lampert, to step in. And he's had a really strong last week and a half. They slid him inside from right tackle to compete at that right guard spot, and he's looked really good. I think the key for me is the line being able to be more consistent in pass pro is going to be a big key to this whole thing getting better. That's the run game last year was pretty solid for Notre Dame. Pass pro is a little bit of a different issue, and Riley Leonard bailed you out of a lot of. You guys saw it, Greg, you saw it in the Orange Bowl. How many times Riley Leonard was able to use his legs to avoid pressure? You're not going to have quite that same athlete this year, so that part still is a bit of a work in progress. But is that because they haven't improved as much, or is that because Boubacar Traore is healthy, Bryce Young stepping up, Junior Tuilamaka? That's really the thing you're going to find out when we get to Miami on August 31st.
I actually wanted to get your thoughts on Bryce Young because Greg and I have mentioned him a lot this offseason. Just think he has a chance to explode onto the scene this year. What has been the word? What have been the thoughts of how he's performed so far in fall camp?
Still young, flashy. There's days where Bryce looks like a future All-American and days where Bryce looks like a sophomore that's still trying to learn how to consistently win. And he's going to play for them. He's going to play a lot. He's going to be an impactful player. The defensive end to keep an eye on is Boubacar Traore. And if you go back and look at his PFF numbers through the first four games, if he could have kept that rate the entire season, he's got Abdul Carter type of numbers. That's how disruptive he was early. He played one snap against USC in 2023. He sacked Caleb Williams on that one snap when he stepped in to fill in. He's just a twitchy guy. He's got sort of that unique ability to bend and win on the edge. He's the guy whose emergence this fall camp has really been impressive, and it's taken some of that pressure off of Bryce to be that guy. But he's learning. He's going to be a factor for Notre Dame this year. But early on, Cole, it's really going to be about just throwing waves at people. I think the D lineman to keep an eye on, who I'm hearing a lot of buzz about out of fall camp, is actually an inside guy. It's Jason Onye, who's having a really monster fall camp.
Man, they get a guy or two stepping up inside. That D-line might be a problem again.
That's great news.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And week one will be a great challenge. Looking at Miami, I think they actually match up pretty well against Notre Dame, assuming their young wide receivers can kind of come into their own. They're going to find out week one. But looking at that matchup, and look, we saw Notre Dame lose week 2 last year and it not really have an impact of what they inevitably became. But how important is that week 1 game on Sunday night to knock off Miami and to kind of pick up where you left off last year?
As a Notre Dame fan who's was born in 1978, which means I've never seen Notre Dame win in Miami, that's a pretty big deal. I think it's one of those. But in seriousness, it's like Marcus Freeman's got to slay some dragons, right? Haven't won a New Year's Six Bowl since 1994. Okay, check. Haven't won a national title. Not checked. Beating Miami in Miami, something that we had that Lou Holtz didn't do in multiple opportunities. That's got to get checked. And I think those are the things that Notre Dame's still got to prove. Can you go on the road to a place you haven't had success with and win those type of games? Can you start the season off a little bit more impressively at home against Texas A&M, something they've lost 2 of their 3 home openers so far. So I think those are the things about Notre Dame that we're still having to learn, guys, is is last year was phenomenal, but can they string back-to-back great seasons, something they haven't done in the last 30 years? So they've had some great individual seasons, but they just don't string them together. And I think that's what that Miami game is really about for me. It's not so much about, it means you're going to be a playoff team or not. If you can lose in Northern Illinois at home and not only get to the playoff but host, losing to Miami's not going to crush your playoffs hopes other than, well, you can't win too many more of these. I think it's more about just showing what kind of program this is going to be moving forward. Is it going to be like it's been in the past where one great year is followed by an okay year? Or does Marcus Freeman say, no, this is just kind of who we are now?
Brian, I wanted to get your thoughts just on Chris Ashes now being the defensive coordinator. I thought Al just did an awesome job last year. I don't know if we are expecting any drop-off, things to look very different, but I do think he deserves that credit, and he's not being back. And it's just something I haven't heard being talked about much around this football team this upcoming season. What are your anticipations just for that part of the Notre Dame defense?
Well, that's the big unknown for me, Cole, because we haven't really seen them do a lot in fall camp. We see the first 4 practices. I think one thing that brings me sort of a level of confidence that he's going to make a smooth transition is because he's focused so much on not changing what they were doing. He's going to make some adjustments. He's going to do some things that fit their personnel, but he didn't come in like some coaches doing, like, okay, I know it was good, but we're going to do my thing now. He said, hey, look, there's a strong foundation to build upon, and we're going to stick to some of those principles. We're going to continue to allow Leonard Moore to do things that he does well, but there's some areas where we're going to get better, and we had a very young defense for the most part last year, so we're going to focus on those things. So a lot more focusing on fundamentals and being in the right position and things along those lines, which is something that you talk to former Ohio State players about. They'll say, hey, look, he was very much about know your job and do your job as fast and as hard as you can, and that's something he's focused on in Notre Dame because he's more about, hey, let's let the talent take over and not so much let me go show everyone how smart I am, and I think that's worked pretty well so far. The big question is going to be, how does he handle things in game? I think what I've seen so far in practice has been great, but what is he going to be like making in-game adjustments and doing things at halftime to try to overcome maybe slow starts, or will he be as aggressive blitzing as Al Golden was? Those are the things I don't know, but so far I've heard a lot of good things about how the players have reacted with him and just how they're performing, and that's the thing I've heard all fall camp is defense has been really, really good.
Well, we appreciate the time today, Brian. A lot of awesome updates there around Notre Dame, this program, what's been happening through fall camp. Hopefully we can catch up with you again soon.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Brian Driscoll, he covers Notre Dame for Irish Illustrated, does a great job with it. And that quarterback battle, Greg, is one that's a little surprising to some folks. When we came out of spring, people felt like, CJ Carr, he's the guy. That's why Angeli transfers. He goes to Syracuse, and people felt like it was a done deal. Now, may not be a done deal.
And a lot of people upset about it, too. Like, a lot of people mad because they felt like finally Notre Dame was going to have a game-changing quarterback because they have a 5-star in CJ Carr. Well, they might still just use the things that they've always used to be successful to win games this year. Like, that's what I think is kind of amazing. Like, they have never had a game-changing quarterback. And they've been to how many playoffs? They've been to how many games? They went to the national championship game last year. They didn't have a game-changing quarterback. They had a really solid college football quarterback. So I don't think there's anything wrong with having a game manager. If you're Notre Dame, you defend the way you defend, you run the ball the way you run the ball. So right. I'm a little curious why Notre Dame fans are so up in arms about the possibility of CJ Carr not being their guy. That kind of blows me away. I just thought for sure they'd be maybe a little bit better at quarterback than they were last year if CJ Carr were the guy. Maybe have a slightly higher ceiling. But wouldn't you want to just rinse and repeat what you just did last season? At least I would.
You would think. That'd be one of the easier ways to do it. Okay, we're going to continue talking Notre Dame and having our quarterback conversation. I told you I had a couple other names I wanted to throw at the guys since the all-time AP team has come out. We've been debating who the quarterback would be for your sort of dream team or dream roster, or to just go in one game, who that guy would be for you. We'll finish that discussion when we come back. First, you're going to have to wait for that topic. One thing you never have to wait for, Greg, is your dental care.
That's because Family Care Dental has you taken care of. The urgent care officer can be seen the same day. Several locations to make it easy on you in Hoover, Fultondale, Homewood, Alabaster, and Trussville. They can get you in. Patients of all ages are accepted. Most insurance plans are accepted. And they can see you on Fridays and Saturdays, which is great, especially here during the school year. So call them today at 874-9605. That's Family Care Dental, 874-9605.
I got a couple more that I want to throw out there. Would it be Tebow or this guy? Some I think are going to be pretty interesting discussions. That's next right here on Jox. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. A lot of these quarterbacks we're discussing, one of the reasons people are going to put them in the conversation, they were able to go get a ring, able to bring home that bling. If you need to bring it home yourself, Greg, where should people go?
Well, go check out Bromberg's. They are just an amazing, amazing place to go and purchase special items that might be in your family for multiple generations. Go and check it out. It's off the charts good. When you watch and look at the selection that they have and the service that they offer you with their staff, they're so knowledgeable. They have such a great selection, and the experience continues to get better. They are currently renovating the Mountain Brook store, which means it's going to be even better, which to me, it's already an elevated experience. I can't imagine what it's going to be like as they continue on with this renovation. So go and check it out. Mountain Brook Village store. Bromberg's is the very best. Absolute best. Diamonds, gold, silver, platinum, you name it, they have it. Custom jewelry, they have it. Bracelets, rings, watches, you name it, they got it. Absolutely highly recommend Bromberg's in Mountain Brook Village and at the Summit.
One game you get this quarterback for. One game to go in and potentially win you a game or lose you a game. You guys are going to laugh at this one.
Maybe not.
Tim Tebow or Stetson Bennett?
Tebow.
It's interesting. It's
Not
an
for
interesting
me.
thought. Okay, Greg is going Tebow. I think it's closer than a lot of people would want to believe.
One game.
One game. John, is it easy for you, Tebow?
Yeah.
Okay. I would end up going Tebow, yeah, but
It's close.
I mean, having maybe the greatest defense in college football history
It
helps a little bit, but yeah.
Doesn't hurt.
Carson Palmer, Tim Tebow.
Gosh, Carson Palmer was so good.
Get a chance to see him.
He was so good.
I was young.
I mean, he just killed people. That Iowa Orange Bowl game, oh,
Super accurate, big arm.
Wait,
so accurate, huge arm. Was just a monster. I mean, just big, strong, physical, 6'5", 240, just throwing
Carson Ball-
heat.
He's that big?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Monster.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah, and athletic, too. Like, mobile and nimble. Like, you more athletic than you realize. Palmer was a dude.
Not sneaky, like it's
Not
obvious.
sneaky,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah.
No,
it's
he
out
was
there,
big
yes.
time.
All right.
I'm going Palmer.
Yeah, me too.
I would
He
probably
was
take,
unbelievable.
I might take Tebow on that one.
Palmer was good.
This is one that I think a lot of people will actually say is easy going away from Tim Tebow. Jameis Winston.
Jameis is a lot better than people probably remember.
Yes.
He was unbelievable. That 2013 year, he was off the charts.
You mean because he went over 3,900 yards and 25 touchdown passes both years in college and had 26-1 record? It's pretty good.
It helps.
You think?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It
It's
helps.
pretty good.
Can I choose the year of Jameis?
Yes, that's a big part of it. Yes.
2013, like without doubt. 2014, I don't know.
2014, though, dude, their team was terrible. Like, he was the
But
only
but
guy.
he made some mistakes that were.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Rose Bowl.
But like John said, the 2013 team, yeah, it's
He's
probably
good.
him.
yeah, he was legit.
Okay, an interesting one that I'll throw out at you guys: Tim Tebow or Caleb Williams.
Oof. I mean, I'll go,
120 touchdowns and 33 starts.
yeah, I mean, he was ridiculous, no doubt. But
Against who?
Easy not to like.
also,
It's just
very,
funny how a lot
very
of these are going to
hateable.
be easy.
Right, but the dudes.
Don't like him.
He was
So,
cooking.
and that's why it's hard. That's why this one is hard.
I think some people think that you're a bad person if you say that you pick somebody
It's
other
fair.
than
Right.
Tebow. Like, it doesn't make you a bad person for thinking a guy might be more talented than Tim. Doesn't make you you can
Right.
still acknowledge the good person that Tim is, the good player that Tim was,
I go Caleb Williams.
and not have him as the number one quarterback in the history of college football.
Okay, Caleb Williams or Tim Tebow.
Caleb Williams.
John,
Yeah, I think I'm going with
I
it.
think I would too. I mean, the demeanor, the attitude is the only thing you would change.
I would love to
if you
change
could
that.
swap those, then
Right.
you've built the perfect quarterback. Kellen Moore or Tim Tebow.
I thought you were about to say somebody else.
I'll go Kellen Mond.
I know. Not even in the same breath.
Kellen Moore in 4 years on 1,658 attempts completed 70% of his passes.
That's insane.
14,667 yards. He threw for over 3,400 yards 4 consecutive years. He threw for 25 or more touchdown passes 4 consecutive years. His last year at Boise, he was 74%, 3,800 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks.
Yeah.
His sophomore year, he was 35-36 at 64% for 39 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Sufficient.
35 touchdowns to 6 picks his junior year at 72%. He threw 142 touchdowns and 28 interceptions in his career. It's a different style altogether, obviously. There's no battering ram effect. It's probably going to have to be some intermediate quick game stuff, more so than down the field, but it's a really fair question in my opinion.
Love it. I think as far as efficiency is concerned, you'd be hard pressed to find a more efficient quarterback than Kellen Moore in the last 20 years. Just efficiency,
Right.
which is not sexy, but you know how to move the chains, get the ball out, don't take sacks, be super accurate, have a plan. He was remarkably underrated. Not physically gifted,
Nope.
but ridiculous as far as efficiency is concerned.
Tebow or Kellen Moore?
I'm going Tebow.
I would still like to have some of the mobility aspect of it. Like, I think Kellen Moore, if he had to play week in and week out in the SEC, I don't know if it would have been the same.
That's why I would take Tebow.
Correct.
Because against who?
Not against. Against.
There was a listener that tweeted in Tebow or Bryce Young.
Bryce.
No, I want to. I just and we have said this specifically about Alabama players in the Nick Saban era for quite some time, and I think folks forget how much they forget this. Greatness in that era was forgotten faster than maybe any other in the history of college football.
In 2021 and 2022? Why is greatness forgotten? That was 4 years ago.
Bryce Young in 21, 67%, 4,872 yards, 47 touchdowns, 7 picks. He followed that up with 33-28, 32 touchdowns to 5 picks. He threw 80 touchdowns to 12 interceptions and completed 66% of his passes. Ran for another 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. Bryce Young.
Greg?
Bryce Young.
Yes.
John?
Yeah, it's Bryce.
Is it recency bias?
No.
No.
I mean, I feel like it should be Bryce Young too.
No, I mean, Bryce was pretty special, dude.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't hand it off much, but
No. I wouldn't either.
He's getting greedy with it. He's getting greedy with it.
all right. How about this one? You get one game. Tim Tebow or Tua Tagovailoa?
Tua.
There's only one reason that there's one gigantic strike against Tua that you can throw out there.
Injuries?
He might not make it through the game.
Yeah.
But he's
You know Tebow's
deadly
making it through the game.
I got Tua.
I would go Tua.
Deadly accurate.
Tua is a monster.
I may have to do like a Hugh Freeze, like first quarter Tua, but then like the rest of it, I may have to go Tebow. But
I think that's more Spurrier than Freeze when you're talking about actually when you play someone. But yeah, I see where you're going.
It's Tua, yeah.
I think I might go Tebow there just because of the fragile aspect. But you can't go wrong with Tua.
If our offensive line is great, we'll keep them upright.
You'll be good. If that's the case, you'll be
You
fine.
gotta
But
have
we
a good
don't know
O-line.
that. We don't know if that's the
Got to
case.
have a good O-line.
By the way, I did want to just throw this out for you guys. Aaron Murray, 13,166 yards passing, 121 touchdowns, 16 rushing touchdowns in his career. Just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Just throwing out some factual information. And I will give you by far the easiest decision that we have had. I think easier than maybe, and this goes to what John went with a little bit earlier. If you are able to be selective with the actual singular year, I'll throw out maybe the easiest one that we've had, and I can't believe his name has not come up yet. Maybe easier. I mean, it's not going to be easier than Cam or Burrow for me. Probably not easier than Lamar. But the next easiest answer that you will have in this question that is not going to be Tim Tebow. All-time AP quarterback. You could have one to start a college game for you to win a national championship. Tim Tebow or Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
God, he was good.
Oh,
It's not close.
Not even
It's
close.
literally not close.
God.
It's not close.
No natty.
Okay, fine. We all know which one we would take, and it's Jaden
With
Daniels.
ease.
So, I mean, it's hard to imagine maybe the Arizona State stuff, or like Greg has said, referencing Tebow a couple of times, the career comes into mind there, but
Sure.
that's not one, if you're talking about how they exited college football, that's even in the same galaxy, in my opinion. It's Jaden Daniels. Super accurate, dynamic runner, could run away from you, knew when to leave the pocket, how to leave the pocket. Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. It's Jaden Daniels. It's Jaden Daniels. So, I mean, we went through a litany of guys.
It just it goes back to the conversation. Like, is it what it is, or is it perception? Like, is it reality or perception? And by the way, there's nothing wrong with either side. It's just, I think there's a much more detailed discussion to be had there, especially when taking into account the guys that are also on the team. I mean, by far, some of the best that have ever played in the history of the sport. Yeah. Like, I'm not talking just in college. I'm talking all-time talents. Pretty ridiculous to see that list.
Yep. All right, so we'll get you a break. Matt Jones updates us on Kentucky football fall practice next, right here on Jox. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Going to go right to the Higginbotham hotline. Welcome in Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio. And Matt, the all-time AP team came out and was curious. We were having a quarterback debate today. Tebow's the number one quarterback. Like he's the first team all-time AP quarterback. Would he be that for you? If you had one quarterback all-time in college football, would he be your guy?
Yeah, all time. I mean, they're going like from the start of college football.
All-time AP team.
All-time.
He was number one. So ahead
Wow.
of
Yeah,
Cam, ahead of Burrow, ahead of Lamar, ahead of Jaden Daniels, ahead of all of them.
So I was going to say, I mean, for me, in terms of in person, nobody was more wow to watch than Lamar. As much as I hate to say that as a Louisville person.
No, you're right.
But when you're talking, and Michael Vick as well. But Tim Tebow probably has had the most success. So, I get it.
All right, what's going on with the quarterback situation there in Lexington? We haven't heard a lot coming out from this football team here in fall camp. How are things progressing based on what you know?
I've heard positive things. I mean, the UK fan base has never been this pessimistic going into a season since probably Joker Phillips was the coach. But all I've heard from camp is very positive. I think they believe they're going to be a lot better than people believe they will. I think they have – the big thing is I think they've upgraded their offensive line, which is the key because last year the offensive line was just absolutely dreadful. And the team quit with about 3 or 4 games to go last year. I mean, just completely quit. It was – The Louisville game was one of the more embarrassing games for Kentucky fans of all time. It included a player going to the concession stand in the middle of the game, which was, sort of symbolic of the whole year. I don't think they're going to have that this year. I think they like the culture they've built, offensive line good. They love the 2 running back transfers. I think they feel pretty good about their wide receivers. For me, it's on the offensive side, I do worry about the quarterback play. I think they've, you're starting to hear Cutter Boley's better than people think, which is not a really good sign for what they feel like with Zach Calzada. But I think overall, offensive line, defense, which were the bread and butter of Mark Stoops' years at Kentucky, I think both should be significantly better. The problem is the schedule. I mean, the schedule is just brutal. They play, 6 of the top 16 teams in the country. So they could be a lot better and still go 4-8. And that's kind of what my concern is, actually.
Well, so the quarterback competition, I think Calzada is actually pretty good. I know that he's taken a lot of heat over the course of his college career with what transpired at Auburn, but he can throw it. I
hope you're right.
So
I hope you're right, because then I think they're better.
So if the quarterback's good, are they actually maybe like kind of a dangerous team? For a team like Ole Miss, for example, week 2, having to go up there, that's no picnic.
Oh, no. Listen, if I were – okay, so their SEC home games this year are Ole Miss, Florida, Tennessee, and Texas. If Zach Calzada's good, they're winning one of those. I would not – if I was those teams' fan bases and Zach Calzada was good, I would look at that game as a dangerous game that you don't think is a dangerous game right now. This is a weird year for Kentucky's schedule, and I don't know why it's like this, but it has been for a long time. Their schedule balances to where they either play every year their hardest games at home or their hardest games on the road. And I've always made the case that when Kentucky's good, you'd love to have it where those hardest games are at home. But when they're bad, you almost want to flip it. So last year, their hardest games were all on the road. So this is a year that if Kentucky was good, I kind of like their schedule because you're getting your toughest games at home. Your road games are Auburn, Vandy, South Carolina. I mean, those are games Kentucky can compete in. Georgia's a little different. But yes, I think they'll win one of those home games. I'm picking Kentucky to win 5. I think they win their 3 games against weaker competitions. I think they win one of those home games I just mentioned, and then I think they probably win at Vandy. The way to get to a bowl is to then also win at Auburn, or they've actually had pretty good success against Louisville, even though I think that'll be tougher this year. So that's their path to success. The coaching staff believes they're going to do that. They just got to convince the fan base. And that game in week 2 against Ole Miss, I think it's huge for Ole Miss. I think it's pretty huge for Kentucky and kind of getting this fan base on board.
No, I think most people would agree with you on that one. What parts of the defense give you the most confidence? What parts of the defense give you the most concerns? Brad White obviously has been great. They have been so solid up front, and I don't know if they're going to be able to just replicate that again this year.
That's the flip, okay? So I think you go back and you look at the last 5 years, 6 years. They had a period about 5 years ago where they had an amazing secondary, but since then the secondary has been the weakness, the line's been the strength. I think it's flipped this year. I think the secondary is the strength. I think the line is a weakness. You lose Deion Walker, you lose Oxidine, you lose some guys that gave you big production even if they weren't consistent. So I think that's their worry. Do they have somebody on the defensive line? Do they have multiple guys who can – they haven't really gotten to the quarterback in 2 years, even with Deion Walker and those guys, really since Josh Allen. But I do think their secondary will be strong. They've got basically a lot of the same guys, DJ Waller, Ty Bryant, Alex Afari. I think they're going to be pretty good there. But the question will just be, can they get pressure on the quarterback? Can they consistently stop the run? So for me, the defensive line is the concern.
That's kind of crazy when you think about what they've kind of been built on. There's so many new pieces. Of all the new additions, who's the one transfer guy that is apparently having a really good camp?
Well, the dude, I mean, they would say to you, the people, again, on the offensive line, they brought in Ajad Pete, who's from New Mexico. He's going to be the left tackle. I mean, you all watched the games last year. The left tackle for Kentucky all year was just a disaster, and they feel really good about him. There's a guy, I can't remember the kid's name, but there's another kid from New Mexico State that's playing on the defensive line that I think they feel good about. They're running backs. Dowdell from Nebraska. I think they like him, but you got to remember this team has 50 new players. And I know a lot of teams are like that, but for Kentucky, these transfers are huge because the culture. All right, if you had Mark Stoops on here, here's what he would say. Our transfers last year took our culture in the wrong direction. They basically went and got guys who played at the Georgia and Alabamas and were second string and brought them in and said, you'll get to play here. And it just did not work. That had worked in other years, just did not work last year. So this year, they went and they got guys from the MAC. They have 3 players who played on either New Mexico or New Mexico State. They went and got guys from secondary schools, which is, by the way, what they did in the early years of the transfer portal with Stoops. I think they think that's going to make the culture better, and if it makes the culture better, Stoops is such a culture guy. He always has been. He has always been this believer in, I can take talent that is, B level and turn it to A level, and he's kind of struggled over the years sometimes when he's had A level. A guy like Deion Walker was a top 20 recruit, and even though he was good, I don't think he ever quite hit his potential. I think Stoops feels like he has a roster full of guys this year that are the kind of players that he likes to coach the most.
Because it almost goes along a little bit with what I've been saying about this team, Matt. You mentioned culture. I've mentioned it feels like there's a part of some of the O-linemen, D-linemen you said he brought in, bringing in a guy like Kendrick Law, who's probably the best blocking receiver in the SEC. It feels like he wants to get back to a little bit of a backyard brawler team, like a team that's going to bloody your nose. Yeah. And can you manage that? Can you deal with that? Will you be okay playing that style game?
Yes, that's what they're doing. I mean, I think they will run – significantly more. This fan base had gotten spoiled a little bit, and I'm probably part of being guilty of that. That we loved having Chris Rodriguez, Benny Snell, but there was a part of, okay, it's 2025. Can we please throw the ball some? And they really tried with Devin Leary, and then last year they really tried to throw, and it just brought Vandegrift. It just didn't work, and it's not Mark Stoops' style. I think they're going back to the running significantly. They've got 4 running get-backs that they believe can play. The new offensive line guys. We'll see. I mean, but it's still – I still think that's a hard way for Kentucky to win in the SEC. But, I'll give Stoops credit for this. Let's take last year. As much of a disaster as the Louisville game was, the South Carolina game was, They also beat Ole Miss on the road. They also played Texas pretty competitively for 3 quarters on the road. They had Georgia. They were one interception callback return from making that Georgia game. I mean, they were in the Georgia game till the very end. He made the decision to kick a field goal instead of go for it. Fans are still upset. So you could make an argument their 3 most impressive games of the year, Georgia, Texas, and Ole Miss, were the 3 teams they played that were the best of the year. So I think that's interesting with Kentucky going into this season and to see what they do.
Did you say earlier in the interview that a player went to the concession stand during a game?
Yeah, so during the Kentucky-Louisville game,
When you're hungry.
Gerald Mincy, who had started at the beginning of the year in offensive line, he was hurt for the Louisville game, but he was in his uniform. You can find this picture. It's the 3rd quarter of the Kentucky game. We're down like 25 points. He leaves the sideline in his uniform and goes up to the concession stand and buys food, and someone took a picture. And it's kind of been
I got the video
symbol to the fan base of what in the world was going on. We had guys at the concession stand.
The kids have money now. They can afford these things. Back in the day, we couldn't afford an $8 hot dog. Like, I mean, now they can do it.
You're talking about starting offensive lineman. Okay, I mean that is a starting offensive lineman that did that.
He's not in pads. He just had the jersey on. I'll give him a little
credit. Is that
all right? It's still not okay. No.
It's kind of funny.
But I will say I may not have been to that exact concession stand during the game there at halftime. At halftime, because there's a little way you can sneak through the tunnel, and there's another door, and it comes out right by that concession stand. Nonetheless, I wasn't playing in a game or had the jersey on top of a hoodie during my team's game.
Are you positive you weren't playing?
It was halftime. After my halftime interview. I may or may not have gotten a soft pretzel.
Can you confirm that you weren't playing?
The soft pretzel was good. I will.
Okay,
can't confirm that. Was not.
Here
playing.
we are. You guys are all being haters, and Cole was visiting the exact same place.
Well, now I feel better, actually.
Maybe he just needed some salt. Maybe the salt tablets just wouldn't do it for him. He needs some quick carbohydrates and some salt on the pretzel.
Maybe they asked him to play right tackle again, and he's self-proclaimed left tackle only.
Don't you do it.
There you go. Matt, great stuff, man. Thanks for the time. We always appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys. Before we do this every year, so let me ask you a question. What do you all think Kentucky's record's going to be? I said 5-7. I trust you two as much as anybody I do in the SEC world. What do you all think?
I think they get to 6.
You do? Okay.
I'm with you on the style of this football team kind of getting back to being one that a lot of people are going to have difficulty with. There's not a lot of teams being built that way right now in the SEC. That'll give them some advantages. I like the home field advantage. And I think Mark's got a little chip on his shoulder. I think he's got a point to prove to some people.
Yeah.
And I think that'll help this team.
Don't overlook Vince leaving, too, by the way. Vince leaving, the tight end coach, Vince Marrow, going to Louisville. That has, I think, put a huge spark in this staff because there are a lot of people who are like, well, now that he's gone, you'll never get any players. You won't be good. I think they don't believe that, and I think that's put a huge chip on their shoulder.
It also doesn't affect anything on the field X's and O's wise. I love Vince. He's an awesome guy.
Correct. One of the best guys ever.
He had nothing to do with scheme. Zero. So what this team's going to be on the field, that is a zero net loss to Kentucky football this year.
And I'll be honest with you, Matty, I have no idea. I think Kentucky might be the biggest question mark in college football this year.
I will say they are mine. Not in college football, but in the SEC, yes.
To me, they're number 1 in college football. And I really believe that because I do believe in their style. I do believe in the chip on the shoulder. I do think at times in the last few years, expectations have kind of gone haywire because they finally got a quarterback. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, yes, this is our year. And expectations for Kentucky are not good. Like they're a team that's much better off flying out of the radar and turning every single game into a bare knuckle brawl. And a team that you hate to play against. They're a handful to play. You're going to feel it for a week. It's a double chin strap game. And they're going to be able to go toe to toe with teams just on physicality alone. Now, if we want to talk about turning into a track meet, not going to be good for them. Like I think back to Georgia 2 years ago when it turned into a track meet, it was the worst thing ever.
But in Georgia last year, to your point,
they played them. They forced them right into the trap last year.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and it was and we called that game last year, so like I remember it vividly.
It's like that. It's like that noon kick that I had in I think it was 18, 19, The game took like an hour and 45 minutes, and I don't think Kentucky threw a pass in the first half. I think they had combined 3 pass attempts in the first half. And
remember that Georgia game down there where that was their juggernaut team.
Yeah.
Kentucky played them as good as anybody in the
They
country
did.
that year, and
Right.
it was on their field, and so that was like what you're talking about.
I mean, I try to think to other teams that are question marks. Like, I think Kentucky falls in that category for me. I think North Carolina with Belichick and all their new pieces falls in that category. There's probably 4 or 5 teams nationally in the Power Four where I have no idea. Colorado's one of those teams. I have no idea. But based on their track record, I don't hate it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear you gave me some confidence. I go on the air in 10 minutes, and I'm going to give the Cubelic McElroy seal of approval to UK football this year.
Rock and fire, baby.
All right. See you guys.
take care, Matt. Matt Jones joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Always great talking anything Kentucky, and fun having that conversation here with him today. If you want to have more college football conversations with us, it's easy to do at the Jox Kickoff Party. John, tell our listeners how they can do it.
The easiest way to do that is to text the keyword final and your full name to 205-834-9450. That's 205-834-9450. Today's your last chance to register for your chance to win tickets to the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jox Kickoff Party, which will be Thursday. Today's your last day. Make sure you text the keyword final and your name to 205-834-9450. Winners are notified and drawn daily. Check out joxfm.com for more info.
All right, when we come back, a little bit more on the quarterback conversation and some other news around the SEC. That's all next right here on Jox. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Continuing our quarterback conversation on all-time AP team. Bob has been very patient on hold. Bob, what's on your mind? Bob. Bobby.
Bob.
Bobby.
Bob.
We tried, Bob. Your CBD store does more than just try. They deliver. Largest brick-and-mortar CBD retailer in the world. First company to have USDA certified organic oil supplements. Yes, they're open. Yes, their products are still available. Go check out one of their 3 locations. Highway 280 by Bailey Brothers, 150 by the Cajun Cleaver. Trustful just off 459. Your CBD store, as you know, where good health hits home. Arthritis, anxiety. If you have that or your pet struggling with either one of those, better focus throughout the course of the day, more energy throughout the course of the day, and curb your appetite with the Trim by SunMed on the shelves now at your CBD store where good health hits home. So did we come away with the definitive winner here? Greg's going with Andrew Luck. Damien, one quarterback, one game. Who's it going to be?
Cam Newton.
John, one college quarterback, one game. Who are you going to go with? This is your Super Sofa quarterback of the week.
Super Sofa quarterback game of the week.
Yeah, I think it's Cam.
It's always been Cam. It's going to be Cam again for me. One-man
Barner.
army.
Barner.
Yes, I am. Yeah, that's it. That's the reason.
But do you like Cam Newton, though?
It's a fair question.
Not likable, can't be on the list.
Can't be on the
Well,
list.
no, it's if you say things that aren't always positive, then allegedly you don't like said person.
Visor can't be thrown at him because his hair's too out much for it to fit. So
He would never make a mistake in practice.
No.
So
No, not at all.
Ooh.
never.
Got him.
All right, so great quarterback conversation around college football. When we come back, there's some transfer quarterbacks that we need to discuss. Who has the best season of all of this year's transfer quarterbacks? There's a lot that could go into that other than just how talented that individual is. The schedule, the cast around him. We'll discuss some of the new fits and how they work out right after this on Jox.
Welcome back to McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 9 o'clock here, Birmingham, Alabama. Just 8 days away from college football getting underway. You heard the voice of God a moment ago. Kind of crazy to think that it's so dang close. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to have a game in Dublin, Ireland next weekend. Iowa State and Kansas State, one that should have some implications on the college football playoff. Both those teams among the favorites in the Big 12. So winner with a game and a half lead in the Big 12 going into the season. Pretty good place to start. Of course, the rest of college football will get underway in 13 days. That'll be Thursday, August 28th. You have Auburn teeing it up Friday against Baylor. That's 2 weeks from today. And then Bama getting underway against Florida State, 2:30 on the 30th. Crocker Movers is a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys, and you can trust them in your home. Whether you need your whole home packed up and moved, your company headquarters moved across the country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room, these guys got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you purchased and need to get to your home. So call or visit them online today for a free quote. The website is CrockerMovingServices.com. That's CrockerMovingServices.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Services for your next move.
I wanted to go into transfer quarterbacks. Sorry for me being late there. I was distracted. Today's not the day.
Oh, boy. He's in the hole.
Yeah. Buried.
Don't go in the hole.
Wait till about 3 o'clock today. And it's going to be all-time low for me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Portal quarterbacks that have the best year. Is this just too easy to say John Mateer? I didn't intend for that to rhyme, by the way. It's not how it was supposed to come out, but it did. Jackson Arnold, Bo Prabula, Nico Iamaleava, Darian Mensah, Joey Aguilar, who apparently is trending towards being the starter at Tennessee. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. That's been reported.
Not a huge surprise.
Carson Beck, allegedly shredding in Miami the last couple of days.
Supposedly
looking
ripping.
good.
Supposedly doing really, really well. Pretty good spot.
Feels like a better fit for him.
It's going to be a good fit. He's going to have a good year. Big thing is his wide receivers. His wide receivers are young, and if they don't live up to expectations, it's going to be hard. But the offensive line's good, and I don't think he's going to have a ridiculous amount of pressure on him like he had last year. If you look at last year when he was under duress, not great. When he wasn't under duress, pretty dang solid. So I'm still pretty optimistic about Carson Beck this year, even though most people want to blame him exclusively for Georgia's inconsistencies last year. I don't think that's fair at all.
Okay. So is there one that you just feel like definitively is going to have a better year than any of the others?
I think John Mateer has the best opportunity, but it is dependent on guys being healthy at wide receiver.
And on the offensive line.
Absolutely.
I mean, if they're as dinged up on the offensive line or even near as dinged up as they were last year, he's not going to be able to put those kind of numbers together.
No. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because this has been an offensive line at Oklahoma for the last decades, usually one of the better groups in college football. In the last 2 years, what the heck's happened?
And it's mainly been injuries. I don't think it's been a lack of talent. They've had to go young a few times. They've had to move guys around positions, and some guys, playing at different points in time and not practicing, not playing. That's all been kind of tough. But if the offensive line's not good, it doesn't matter. And I wanted to bring this up because I think the easy go-to answer is John Mateer for a lot of different reasons. You mentioned some of them. But if you're talking about situationally, are there a couple of guys out there that maybe don't have the name, haven't had as much success, that technically, Greg, are in a better situation to go have success? I'm going to throw two names at you and you tell me what you think. Because you will look at it, I think, in a little bit more holistic way, like I'm asking folks to, than what they just do on the surface. Fernando Mendoza. I think he's in a great spot.
He's in a great spot. He's going to have a great year. And as much as
you guys don't know, Cal quarterback transferring to Indiana. Super accurate, knows how to get the ball out on time. RPO-based offense now that relies on some quick game stuff that I think he'll be deadly in. And I think has enough juice at receiver. The offensive line should be solid. You go get a great portal kid from Notre Dame that can fill in for one of your vacancies. That might be an upgrade. He's in a great spot to have a great year that just not a lot of people are talking about.
Correct. And I think his mobility is going to make that offense even more challenging. He's got great weapons at wide receiver. I like the addition of Roman Hemby from Maryland at running back. They're going to be good on offense. I think they're going to be really good on offense. Now it's just about whether or not they are as good on defense, frankly, to make another playoff run. Because the defensive tackles last year that they had were off the charts good. Like CJ West was a handful. And the other guy, 99, was really good as well. I'm blanking on his name. But I don't think they're going to be as good up the middle on defense this year, which is going to make things a little bit more interesting while watching them, but I think their offense will score.
So we talked a little bit about Zach Calzada earlier. He's a guy that is also going to transfer and most likely be the starter. Here are a few other names, specifically this next one, that I think are in a great spot to have a big year and probably not getting enough run. I think if I gave you a couple of guesses, you would hit it. But in this conversation where most people are just going to go Mensah, Beck, Aguilar, Mateer, Iamaleava, Arnold, Prabula, should we be talking about Miller Moss here?
Miller Moss has a chance to have a great year, especially if they're healthy at wide receiver. I mean, we all know what Colin Lacey did a couple years ago at South Alabama.
Big time.
Was banged
Big
up
time
last
wide
year.
receiver.
Was a really, really highly regarded prospect leaving South. Now, last year, it didn't really materialize. But I think Miller Moss in that offense has a chance to be really good. The problem with Louisville is the schedule. Their schedule's a beast. And I like what they have on paper, but there are real concerns for me about them being able to navigate through that schedule unscathed. I don't see it happening.
Okay. That's another one that I feel like.
Have you looked at their schedule?
Yeah.
It's a monster.
But I think they got a chance to be really good.
No question.
I mean, if you're a good football team with great quarterback play, we know that wins a lot of games. What about Stephen Jelly?
If he wins the job, then I think he could have a solid year. The problem is there's just too many losses on that Syracuse team. I think they're going to miss I think they're going to miss a bowl game.
Both sides of the ball.
I mean, there's just too many losses, too many pieces gone. So it's hard for me to envision them replicating the success of last season.
The one that maybe should be as easy as any that we've mentioned, and because I think there's some intriguing ones we could throw out, like a Chandler Morris at Virginia. Chandler Morris has put up big numbers.
Yeah, he has.
In multiple spots, but we know the cast at Virginia, is it even going to be decent? I mean, we just don't know what that's going to look like. But what about Devin Dampier at Utah? Could he be the one that has the best year? Because also this is going to be contextual. Statistics, wins, championships, elevating a team. Like some people might look at a team that was bad, and if new quarterback comes in and they go from 3 wins to 8 wins, that he had the best year of all the transfer quarterbacks. Like that could maybe be like a Zach Calzada argument at the end of the year. If they go from where they were last year to 8 wins, people could say, man, he did the best job of any of these guys. But Dampier might be able to have that happen in both aspects, both statistically and for just how he changed the program.
Yeah. It's hard for me to say right now Dampier's going to be the guy. He's got some unknowns at wide receiver. Offensive line's amazing. I think they'll run the ball really well. If you look at New Mexico last year, the way they ran the ball was amazing. The problem with Dampier is he's just not a super lethal thrower. Or at least he wasn't last season. Doesn't mean that can't come on. It doesn't mean his arm can't get a little stronger or maybe a little bit better with the accuracy stuff. But I think Dampier, he will be a real problem trying to get him to the ground. But will he be able to be effective enough throwing it to enter that conversation?
Yeah, it's one that there are still some uncertainties, but with what he's capable of doing and how he's capable of moving the football both with his legs and through the air, with that offensive line, it feels like he has a chance to have a big season. So all of that being said, is there one that you look at and say, all right, I think he's going to have the best year of anybody out there? Transfer quarterback, that is.
I could see him having a really, really good year. But what is the expectation level there at quarterback?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's contextual. Because if Carson Beck throws for 4,200 yards, but they win 8 games, no one's going to say he had the best year.
No one's going to care.
I think John Mateer almost has to do it both ways. Like I think they need to win like 9 at least, and he needs to throw for 3,200 and run for 550.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just I think it's kind of the same thing with Jackson Arnold. Like if Jackson Arnold throws for 3,800 yards and Auburn wins 7 games, people are not going to say that was the best transfer quarterback yet.
No. The best opportunity for a guy to make the playoffs.
I'm just talking about them have the best year. Like we look at that transfer quarterback had the best year. You contextually, however you want to place it, doesn't necessarily have to be playoff.
Well, playoffs, I think, is how most people are going to probably assume success from this point forward. You know what I mean? So I think Indiana can make the playoffs for sure behind Fernando Mendoza. I think Carson Beck can absolutely make the playoffs out of the ACC. I look at some other playoff contenders that are going to be relying on transfer quarterbacks. I think Utah can make the playoffs out of the Big 12. I think that can absolutely happen.
Oklahoma can.
Can, unlikely, but can. Like them. Think they could have a bounce back year in a big way, but I'm probably not putting them in the playoff just yet.
Can Duke?
No.
Sure. Just asking the question.
I get it. I'm fine with that. Relax. You know who can, though, is North Carolina because of their schedule.
You know, Duke won 9 games last year.
Correct.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
Aware.
People forget or just flat never knew.
Not important to know.
Got it.
I think
they were 0-3 against ranked teams. So
if you want to give me the short list this year, and I'd limit it to 2 and then a gap, it's going to be Carson Beck and John Mateer.
Okay.
Those are the 2 for me. What about you?
For Beulah wild card, I just don't know what we're going to get.
You might not even start.
Expect. Yeah. Well, here's my Sam Horn's had his chances. I just can't. I have a hard time seeing him
fair
being the guy.
I'm good with that. But the reality is he hasn't won the job yet. So
Totally
it's hard
fair.
for me to put him in that category.
Totally fair. I think John Mateer is in the best spot here because
better than Carson Beck.
Yes.
Why?
Deion Burks and defense.
League.
Okay. You go through that league though. Obviously, you're not going to play everybody in your league, but Miami does open up with Notre Dame, right? South Florida's going to throw a lot at you. What do we love most about the Florida defense?
Defensive line.
Okay, so you got to go up against that group. You play Florida State on the road. You still play Louisville. You're at SMU.
But what do you feel best about with Miami?
Maybe the offensive line and the running backs?
Offensive line.
Yeah.
I think.
So
they are deep at running back, for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, that takes a little bit off of him. But I think the Miami schedule is a little trickier than – I don't think this is a cakewalk schedule for – now, I do think it eases up late. But, I mean, let's be honest. A couple of these teams that they play late that we're sort of dismissing right now, I could see being totally different teams. And a lot of it has to do with coaching. Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, Pitt. By the way, the last 2 on the road. I'm just going to tell you this on surface level. Like, I don't care who the team is, who the coach is, where they're playing. Miami at Virginia Tech and at Pitt, if that's later in the season, don't love it. Just don't love it. It's traditionally never been great.
Yeah.
So that's just me, though. So I think the schedule is a little bit harder than people imagine. And I still think, too, now there's a part of this offense that we haven't seen him operate in. And is it going to flow? Sounds like it is right now.
Yeah.
And it might once he gets in games because we know he can throw the deep ball. He's got the arm to push the ball down the field.
No doubt about that.
But he's got to organize it and run it and manage it. And sometimes I feel like that hasn't been his strength.
Fair.
And I would say the main thing for me, you may feel different here, about Carson Beck, he's got to figure out, he's the opposite of Jackson Arnold. He's got to know when a play is dead because he does not have the skill set to keep plays alive and to the ability in which I think he believes that he does.
All
Throw
fair.
the ball away. It's
All
fine.
fair. All totally 100% fair. I still think, though, that offensive line is going to be elite. That's my own assessment. I think it's got a chance to be elite. And if that offensive line is elite and his receivers develop and his receivers grow into themselves, they have a really, really good chance of having a heck of a year. I'm a big believer in Miami this year.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it.
If you have a problem with it, just tell me.
Don't have a problem with
It's
it.
fine.
I do think that there will be some complications that some folks are not looking at. I think South Florida is going to be complicated. I think Notre Dame is going to be a handful. At Florida State may give them some issues. That's one that I didn't throw out there in this conversation is Thomas Castellanos. Like, what kind of year are you expecting from him?
Well, if based on what things are sounding like out of camp, it doesn't sound super promising.
Oh, boy.
I mean, it's easy.
According to him or according to coaches?
According to people
According
that
to
have
him,
watched.
he's about to go full Tommy Frazier on everybody.
Well, a lot of people think he's currently taking too many sacks. The thing I'd push back on with that is that he's a mobile guy, and his best attributes are not going to be in a non-live situation. So maybe he's getting whistled for sacks when in reality, and they're actually playing tackle football, which is what we play at this level. It's not a sack because he's got some Houdini qualities. So I could see that happening as well. I'll be really curious. He's one of the biggest wild cards, I think, in the ACC this year, and perhaps one of the biggest wild cards in college football at quarterback because his good is really good. His bad is really bad.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a kind of a hard thing to measure up when you're relying on so many new pieces. But I like the additions they've made at receiver. Squirrel White's in a boot, by the way. Any concern there?
Last time Squirrel White was a massive problem on the field.
He's a slot receiver. He is who he is. He's not a game changer.
I'll re-reference my question. Last time Squirrel White was a massive problem on the field.
Not often, but a solid piece. Better than what they had last year over Malik Benson.
Okay.
You also look at
His 6 receiving touchdowns in 3 years.
Deuce Robinson.
I'm not scared of him. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Great. You run fast. How about catch touchdowns?
Deuce Robinson.
Solid.
Good. Long.
Probably upgrade. I mean, I would say all together they've upgraded.
Correct. I think the offensive line hopefully is upgraded. I think Malzahn will have some good schemes. I think his passing tree and things like that, a little bit vanilla, but the run game will be good, I feel like. So I'll be curious. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Florida State does, but they are very much dependent on Castellanos having a heck of a year. And, man, that's not a guarantee for me.
No, not at all. All right, so I want to take that and roll it into a couple of these bigger games that are coming up in the SEC this season. How are they going to win? Bama FSU, Auburn Baylor, LSU Clemson, Tennessee Syracuse. How do the SEC teams find ways to win these opening football games? We can even roll that into maybe some week 2, week 3 games based on what we think right now. We'll do all of that next right here on Mac and Cube in the morning.
McElroy and Cubelic, the morning, 922, Birmingham, Alabama. Talking about some transfer quarterbacks here in the last segment. If you missed it, you can always download the podcast wherever you get the podcast. Pretty fun discussion because there are a lot of very interesting situations involving transfer quarterbacks this year, even more so because there's so many that have had great success in college football and are now at new places, a la Carson Beck, which we'll talk about a little bit more here in just a bit. Before we do, I'm going to tell you I'm friends at Shannara Flooring. They are amazing and have built their company on a foundation of trust and integrity. If you go and check out Fu and his guys on their website, fuandyou.com, you'll see a tremendous amount of inventory. 40,000 square feet of Cortec flooring by Shaw in stock. That's dependable, durable flooring that is next level. Next level. It's going to upgrade your home. It's going to upgrade your business. They're going to do a great job in making sure that your home is protected and secure. And you can get $10 off per box if you order that Cortec flooring by Shaw from Shannara Flooring by going to fuandyou.com. It's Shannara Flooring. Go to fuandyou.com. Let's go to Dave in Hoover. Dave, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, guys. So I've got a distant cousin, second cousin, that son is a special teams guy at Georgia. Last year was his last year. He's moved on to bigger and brighter things, I guess. But his dad told us that at the Ole Miss game, Carson Beck was on his phone in the bathroom with his girlfriend about 10 minutes before taking the field, not for warm-ups, before the game. And that Tate Ratledge went in there, took the phone from him, locked the door behind him, and basically jacked him up and told him that he's killing him, that he's not focused. He said, you either need to get rid of us or get rid of your girlfriend. And it was a problem for about 2 or 3 weeks. But I think now that he's at Miami, because I think we all saw what he's capable of in the second half against Alabama. I mean, he's got the ability and the skill set, but and my conspiracy theory was, maybe Cristobal had his girlfriend harass him and get him kicked off the team so he could at Miami. Obviously, that's not true. But I don't know. I think he's going to do well down there. I think if he's got time, he's got some receivers, like you said, I think he's going to light it up and do good things.
Did Tate Ratledge play against Ole Miss? Oh, yeah, he played despite a foot injury. Yeah, I remember that. He was banged up in that game. That might have been his first game back off the ankle or foot injury that he had, and he eventually gave way to Micah Morris. But Ratledge struggled. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. All I know is that I think Carson Beck was not the exclusively responsible for the inconsistencies that Georgia dealt with last year. I think the receivers were extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
And the offensive line was extremely disappointing. And they got gashed on the ground a couple times. So I think while everyone wants to blame him for the inconsistencies in performance, I don't think it's entirely fair.
No, enough to go around. Absolutely right. And you look at his numbers, still weren't bad. If you take some of those drop passes, 36 drop passes over the course of the year? That made his numbers look a whole lot better.
Led the nation, if I'm not mistaken, in drop passes.
Yeah, they did.
So,
all right, guys. Hey, real quick. Champ Bailey made the second team defense. How about that?
It's amazing. I mean, it's the AP poll. I think
remember when the
top 25 is better than this list.
Remember when the all teams used to have like utility guy on them, all SEC, all AP, all American, whatever. Like Champ would be my utility guy, like all time, probably him. Probably like Antoine Randall L would maybe be on that list. So yeah, he deserves to be mentioned somehow, some way. Dude was unbelievable.
Yeah, you got it.
Hines Ward
might get it. Enjoy it.
Thanks. Yeah. Hines Ward freaking played quarterback, like legit played quarterback at Georgia.
Yeah.
Dude's a beast, man.
Beast.
I love Hines.
Such a great player.
All right, so we'll roll that into, Greg. We were talking about Thomas Castellanos, some of these games coming up. Alabama, Florida State. I kind of want to, some of these bigger games, go through quickly, like what we're thinking of. This is what has to happen for this game to go a certain team's way. I know it's a big spread. It's double digits. I know that it doesn't feel like it's going to be a problem for Alabama per se, but they have some question marks, some new things. But what do you look at this game and say, Alabama's got to do this to win this game?
Well, I think what's been interesting, I've read a handful of people's comments and concerns about this game, and several have cited oh, well, Gus Malzahn has traditionally given Alabama some fits with his offensive scheme, without acknowledging the fact that Gus Malzahn's offensive scheme at Auburn was going against Nick Saban. Nick Saban
I don't understand what that has to do with this.
is no longer there, but I guess because Alabama still wears crimson and white, they're going to really struggle against Gus Malzahn's offensive scheme. That's the type of due diligence people do nowadays. But I think with a slightly more, I guess you could say versatile defense, probably the right word. Alabama's defense with the pattern match scheme that Coach Saban instituted was fantastic, obviously, but very complex and occasionally did lose sight of quarterback run. I think with this scheme, quarterback run is not going to be as much of a problem, assuming you tackle, block, or as soon as you get off blocks and tackle, right? I think this is a tricky game in week one because it's a new offensive coordinator and you're probably going to be chasing some ghosts. But it's not a game right now that Alabama should be overmatched with what Florida State has at wide receiver and what Florida State likely will have along the offensive line. So I think it's a good matchup for the Tide.
Yeah, the offensive line going to be very new. That should be an area that Alabama has some success. Like Luke Pettibon has played, Micah Pettis, we've seen him in the SEC, but I don't look at those as massive upgrades as far as where that O-line is going to be, and there's going to be a huge problem. And I think the last couple of times Florida State's brought in some new talent, and it's really changed things. It's been on that defensive line, and I don't know if James Williams or Deontay McCray are those kind of guys. But I'll actually go on the other side of you here. Even though I don't think quarterback run is going to be the primary way that Florida State wants to get yards, I do think that that's the thing Alabama has to be most careful with here, is if there are portions of that implemented, and maybe even just leaving the pocket on his own, I think you tackle Thomas Castellanos, you win this game. For me, it's that simple. Because I don't think they're going to have enough other things that are going to be good enough to consistently give you problems. Letting him get loose, I think, would be my biggest concern. And that can be multiple ways that happens. But I think that's the only thing that we're sitting here on the Monday, on Labor Day after that game, talking about that's why that game was a real issue for Alabama.
Yes. If you let him get loose, if you get maybe a little too aggressive with your pass rush, if you get a little bit too carried away with your pursuit angles, then you can run into some problems. I think a lot of people that have watched Thomas Castellanos remember just one game, and that was a game 2 years ago against Florida State where he just tore it up. But there was a lot of bad in there that led to him actually getting benched last year. So I think frustrating him, not getting over.
Thursday night game?
No, it was a Friday. It was a Saturday
Thursday night
morning
game at home that he kind of went off on.
I don't remember that one. I just remember the Friday. I remember the Friday or the
maybe
Saturday
a
morning game. It was a Saturday morning game. I remember it because we were doing Pitt, West Virginia backyard brawl that game, and we're sitting there at this like sushi place in Morgantown, which is not a place where you'd think you'd want to get lunch in Morgantown.
Not far from the ocean.
And we watched it, and it was actually quite entertaining.
Okay.
But I do think Thomas Castellanos can be a real problem when the play breaks down. So you got to be real disciplined and really good with your eyes.
All right, let's move over to Auburn-Baylor. You and I have actually previewed this game a fair amount in the offseason. We've tried to warn people how dangerous this game may be, that you're going to have sort of an offense that brings in some air raid principles, but still wants to run the stretch play, still going to keep the run scheme that's been so successful for them the last couple of years. Sawyer Robertson, just a really solid college quarterback, and back for more with some familiar faces around him. But when you look at just Auburn, what do they have to do to win this game the way that you see it right now? We'll get more information before, a better idea who's going to be on the field once we get to game week. But right now, how does Auburn go to Baylor and steal this game?
I think you have to do a really good job not allowing yards after catch. I look at Spav, the offensive coordinator, Jake Spavital, and how often he gets guys in space. And I think that they're not going to allow this defensive line and Keldrick Falk to get home. Like, he's going to get the ball out. Sawyer Robertson will get the ball out. Obviously, you could say stop the run. Understandable, right? Obviously. Stop the run goes without saying. They had a rusher that went for over 1,000 yards last year in Bryson Washington. So I think that's a big one. But I think getting receivers on the ground in the open field is significant here. A lot of quick passes, ball will get out, and there's going to be a lot of space that you're going to have to account for. and that is of concern. Offensively, be super disciplined with your eyes and reads post-snap, because Dave Aranda is going to have some type of adjustment or scheme that we haven't seen before. And he's going to have a couple of floaters that will drift out and read the quarterback's eyes and get in those passing lanes. That's a concern for Jackson Arnold. So you know he's going to have a good scheme. It's just, can you be disciplined enough not to pull the trigger when you shouldn't?
Based on our conversations, we wouldn't think that would be the problem. But
you don't say.
I think it's running the football. If Auburn runs the football, I think that handles a lot of what you're talking about.
Are they going to let them run the football? Is my question.
Fair question.
Because if you look at what they brought in, let me pull up their depth chart real quick. They brought in like a 360-pound defensive tackle. Like, they brought in a couple of big boys up front to stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
And
not all runs are in the A gaps. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
There's a rule this year in college football. It has to be.
Every single one of them?
Yes. If you run it outside the guard, you're soft.
Tennessee might win a national championship then.
All right. I just went to Auburn. Why did I do that? I want to go to Baylor.
But you're right about Aranda. The creepers are going to be there. Guys walking up, dropping. There's going to be different looks mixing up. I think if you can find a way to get the run going a little bit early, and that could be Jackson Arnold on a couple of keeps. I think that could be just your traditional runs. If that gets going, I think that's the easiest way to slow some of that stuff down, because he'll get out of it. They'll have to bail on a couple of those concepts if you can find a way to move it on the ground. And then potentially, too, just kind of you control the game a little bit. You control when to take your shots to that talented group of receivers and maybe put a little bit of pressure on a new offense that could get them in an uncomfortable spot. Then Keldrick Falk maybe playing from behind, if Baylor is, that's where you could see him impacting the game a little bit more if they have to go more regular drop back. So I just think I think it's critical. If you gave me one thing in this game, Auburn's got to have success on the ground early. And as we've talked about the offensive line, Greg, that should be one of your strengths. You should be able to lean on that group.
Well,
and they need to prove
not
it.
If you listen to scrimmage one, because you're always a finished product in scrimmage one, always.
That is exactly what your team will be. Every team in college football history has been mirrored by first scrimmage.
Correct.
Regardless of what the script looked like.
I think running the football gets them out of some of those.
Some of the tricky decisions.
Yeah. If you can run the football, you will simplify what they're doing defensively.
Absolutely.
So anytime you have a team, and you know Baylor's going to sell it against the run, why wouldn't you? Make Auburn's quarterback beat you. So I think that
gives you favorable matchups with some of those receivers.
Agree. And now you got to just win those matchups.
Eric
which
Singleton
I think
one-on-one. Well, I think a lot of folks would be good with that. Cam Coleman one-on-one. A lot of folks would be good with that.
The more I think about it, the more I think it's a pretty good matchup for Auburn. I think it's a dangerous spot. I think it's a tricky game. I also think it's a game, too, where
it's kind of like you said. If you play clean, it is a good matchup for Auburn.
Yeah.
But Dave Aranda's going to try to make you play sloppy. And if you do, you play right into their hands, and that's going to be a Baylor win. It is. So I'm so excited for that game. I'm pumped about it. It's going to probably be a problem because everybody's going to want to go to dinner and the whole deal. And I'm gonna be like, no, dog, we're watching this game. Sorry, I'll be in the room.
Yeah.
But we got to dial in on this one.
Dial it up.
This needs some focal points. We will be in tuned with this one right here. We're not going to be messing around on that one. All right, LSU Clemson. A little bit more tricky task for the LSU Tigers than what maybe we have teed up for Alabama and Auburn in their openers. But if you were to take one thing, you were to say this has to happen for LSU to win this football game, what does it have to be?
They got to be able to hold up along the offensive line.
Oh, it's tough against this group, too.
Really tough. And you cannot let TJ Parker, the All-American defensive end, take the game over.
Yeah.
Like, if he does, it's a wrap.
Well, Peter Woods can take it over inside.
Yeah.
More important, in your opinion, keep Clemson off your quarterback or get to Clemson's quarterback?
I think keeping Clemson off your quarterback is number one for them. I think getting home would be great. I think if you can make Clemson a little one-dimensional, they're a little bit concerned about their depth at running back. They're going to have great weapons on the outside. Sounds like LSU really likes their secondary. It sounds like they're real pleased with that. So maybe they can hold up. So, yeah, put some pressure on Cade Klubnik would be nice. But I still think by far they're going to win that game in the trenches with their offensive line if they win it.
Yeah.
If Clemson tees off, it's a wrap.
It'll be trouble. And the thing that, similar to what we talked about with that Auburn-Baylor matchup, Klubnik's legs, I think, become really interesting in this game because we know what Blake Baker's going to give you. Different looks, different pressures. He's going to try to hit you from different angles. You miss fire on a couple of those, Klubnik can burn you.
No question.
I mean, he can turn a too far up the field pass rush or a linebacker in the wrong gap. All of a sudden, two players in the B gap pass rush 20, 30 yards, no problem. And I mean, LSU's going to be in some man. They're going to have their backs turned to the quarterback at times when he can leave the pocket. That would be of great concern for me also. But I think you're right because ultimately, what's the key to LSU's success this year? It's Garrett Nussmeier. He should have a great group of receivers on the field, regardless of health, at most times.
Yeah.
Enough talent there to get it done. Whether they decide to hand the ball off or not, he's the key to them winning. So you keep him clean, you give yourself a chance in every game you play.
No doubt. I think that's the ticket, though, especially with this knee thing. And I know they're minimizing it. You know, is mobility a question? Is that something that we're concerned about?
Could be.
I mean, I don't know. I hope not.
Well, it has been anyway when he's had mobility, technically. It's still been of concern because he just hadn't utilized it. All right, we'll continue that conversation. One more SEC game and then maybe a couple of other week 2, week 3 games we're already taking a peek at. And don't forget, Super Sofa Game of the Week coming up at the end of this hour as well, next on Jox. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. We did not get to Tennessee-Syracuse, Greg. We mentioned that game a little bit earlier, though. When you look at that one, what has to happen for the Vols? Is it just Aguilar taking care of the football?
Yeah.
Because he's got a little bit of that tendency. That turnover genome does, when the DNA test results come back, turnover is going to be found in the Joey Aguilar DNA.
Correct. I think with them, the big thing is running the football.
Well, because their defense can win them that game.
I think they're going to be good on defense. I'm not concerned about that side of the ball. I'm really not. I think they'll be just fine there. I just think they need to run the football, take some of the pressure off Aguilar, allow him to get a couple one-on-ones on the outside. If you can get the run game going like you did last year, then it's going to take a lot of the pressure off your quarterback.
I have a vision of that O-line kind of being sloppy against a group that shows some movement, does some different things, gives you some weird looks, and that part being problematic. I'm not saying that's definitely how it's going to go, but there's a part of me that kind of can envision that. And then all of a sudden it is in Joey's hands, and you got to go make a play late against that team to win that game. I don't love that situation for Tennessee. Just be careful with that one is what I would say. Before we move on to a couple of maybe week 2, week 3 games, Michigan's punishment is in.
Oh, boy.
You ready for this? Per Pete Thamel, Michigan's punishments in the NCAA COI ruling, he and Dan Wetzel reporting on this, Michigan received a significant fine. If I were to tell you Michigan's going to get fined for everything that they did, the school, what would you imagine that would be?
I would say they get fined $500,000.
Yeah. John, somewhere in that territory?
I know the number, and I would have said that, but okay.
Yeah. Expected to be more than $20 million. Now, that'll be from the loss of postseason football revenue for the next 2 years.
20 bones?
Feels significant.
Yeah. Hey, Larry,
You got
Mr. Ellison.
Yeah, you got Larry
Where's
Ellison and
Oracle
Barstool
stock?
guy that can just
Where's
step that up.
Oracle stock today?
Also, Sherrone Moore is going to be given an extra game suspension. Should be in 26. School already proposed a self-imposed 2-game ban for this upcoming season, slated for weeks 3 and 4.
Who's
Do you think schools should be able to select their coach's suspension?
It is Nebraska game.
That feels egregious. Just
3 and 4, Central Michigan and Nebraska.
I got to know the thought process behind that too.
Need him for
Like,
Oklahoma.
why is it not just out of the gate and then get going? Like, I would want it to be over with. I don't know. I'd probably also just not want my head coach to be suspended.
I would like that.
All right, is that enough? Is that too much? Where are we on the Michigan suspension? Not that you and I really care about this at all. Good. Moving on.
Is that all it is?
That's all Pete Thamel has.
1 game and $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me they're not taking the national championship game away? They're not getting a 5-year postseason ban like I was told yesterday?
The NCAA is going to march into the doors and rip that banner down.
Give me that banner.
We want that gold muffler.
Give me that banner.
Not happening. Not going to happen. So all will continue in Ann Arbor. And if there's any program that's used to having their head coach sit out a game or two, I would feel like it's Michigan the last couple of years. I mean, they probably got that protocol on lockdown. Oh, wait, coach is out again? No problem. Which coach? Because we need to know which house to take him to and set up the communications. Surely not. Surely not.
That'd be amazing. What's the range on those headsets? The sideline headsets.
Yeah, they could get the new deals that we advertise here on Jox. What are those microphones, John? The walkie-talkies? The Doomsday walkie-talkies?
Select radio, rapid radio?
Yeah, when the zombies come,
Heck
you can have
yeah.
those. You can communicate with people on Mars.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back.
It'll be good.
No doubt.
866. Wait, before we get to that. All right. 800-239-9495 if you want to get in. Mike has college football questions on the Higginbotham hotline. Mike, what's on your mind today?
Hey, good morning, guys. Hard to follow up that breaking news there. I was just wondering if you guys have received y'all's broadcasting schedule and which games you guys have circled on your calendars. Also, to dovetail off some conversations y'all were having last week and earlier this week about programs' realistic expectations and who can and can't win a national title. How much longer do you think fans in Power 4 conferences are going to be okay with the group of five taking up an increasingly, more valuable playoff spot in the playoffs?
I don't think they like that now. I think they would get away from it immediately if they didn't feel like that there would be legal ramifications at some point in time on the back end of it, going down the path of antitrust and other things of that nature. But the perception of the people that broker the power in college football, I believe, still wants to be that it is for all and wants to help all and wants to do a lot of things that are still for the good of the game. So I don't see that swipe left happening anytime soon. Greg, do you feel differently?
I don't think any commissioner or decision maker is wanting, quote, blood on their hands, right? By excluding half the country. And while I don't, in my lifetime, anticipate a G5 team winning a national championship, I could see a G5 team winning a game in the playoff.
Oh, of course.
No doubt, right? And that gives them a shot. It gives hope. It gives you opportunity. It gives you some of that, Cinderella feel that we see in the NCAA tournament that makes it so fun. So I don't think there's going to be a scenario in the near term where the G5 is excluded. But if the revenue sharing continues to create a bigger gap, I could see them just breaking away and having their own tournament, which I think would be highly consumable as well.
Yeah, I would agree with most of that. As far as the assignments, are we? I'm not allowed to say this yet, are we?
Huh?
Okay, I'm not doing it.
I mean,
Greg can do it. I'm not doing it. I think we know where we are weeks 1, maybe weeks 1 and 2, but there will be a release, so we don't really want to get out in front of that. Probably not our best idea from us.
You can probably guess.
I'm not in San Antonio week 1, if that's what you're thinking, or Lexington.
Oh,
and I know that's what everybody was thinking.
I thought
I'm not
for
in either one of
sure.
those places.
I thought you were going to have Brahma's Mississippi State week 1.
No, actually, it would be Brahma's in Lexington.
Brahma's
probably needs to be. Most people would have anticipated.
You don't do Brahma road games?
No, I mean I have, but no. Maybe Wildcats in San Antonio. A home and home weeks 1 and 2 would probably make most sense. San Antonio, then Lexington. Yeah, but no, not going to be there. All right, we've got to get to our Super Sofa game of the week, and I got to be honest with you guys. I'm extremely excited about where I'm going with this game. Get ready. We'll drop it on you next right here on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 9:53 Friday, August 15th, right here on Jox. Drewski's wearing a Barry Sanders jersey backwards on Get Up, and we had to educate everybody in the room of who Crisscross was.
Everybody.
Molly doesn't know. I said in the room. You're not in the room.
Oh, well.
Crisscross applesauce.
Molly,
It's the way you
Damien,
sit.
Greg, nobody has heard of Crisscross.
I've heard of
Actually,
Crisscross.
let my children listen to Crisscross the other day, and in the truck, the album cover comes up.
Yeah.
And my daughter was like, "Are their clothes on backwards?" I was like, "That's kind of the point. That's what they did."
Crisscross will make you jump.
No, they didn't. They didn't make me jump ever. No, it was a terrible song. And
Dude, can I just tell you something just for a second? When I've been working out, I have like Spotify makes these like pump up music lists, and for whatever freaking reason,
they're never good. I don't do
Ice.
Spotify. I do my own Apple podcast, and all of the like motivational workout music. It's never stuff that works.
No,
for me.
it just never works. But I've had Ice Baby on there like the last 2 or 3 workouts. I don't know where it's coming from,
It was terrible.
and all I can think about is Cole. Is that
Vanilla
bad?
Ice. Big Vanilla Ice.
I'm
Why?
like sitting there under the bar. I'm like, yep, this is what Cole was listening to.
No,
I don't know why when I
Wasn't.
think Ice Baby, I think of you.
Never thought that was a great song. Like, I'm not gonna say I never
Well,
had it
whatever.
on,
You
but
be
like
fair,
out with Vanilla Ice.
Of all of us here, he's the only one seen him in concert.
Exactly.
twice.
Yeah.
See?
That was grunge Vanilla Ice though.
It's still it's still the noun. It may be an
Listen,
adjective in front of it, but it's still
I
the
want
noun.
you to go spend 6 days in Shreveport, Louisiana, under the age of 21, and tell me how that goes.
I mean,
It
got
wouldn't
born
be
there,
fun.
but all right.
Preparing to play a football game, by the way.
Kinda. Preparing my defense to play. I wasn't playing in that game. All right,
Give him a
let's
good look.
get
I
to
don't play in
our
Shreveport.
Super Sofa games of the week. You pick one. It's the only one you get to watch all weekend. Greg, which direction are you going?
So many good options. So many good options. But you know where I'm going? I'm going to IMG Academy. Oh, no, that's next week. Dang it.
Jeez.
I had it all picked out, and I just looked at the date. It's the 22nd. I thought it was tomorrow. Or today. Dang it. All right, well, I got to revisit. Go ahead.
You could go to scrimmage again.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going this week. All right, y'all go ahead. I'll come back.
Well,
Come back to me.
I'm going Tennessee Titans and Atlanta Falcons NFL preseason tonight at 6 p.m. on Fox.
A lot of fights on the field this week.
You know how it is in camp, dog.
It happens.
It does.
Dog days.
You know it.
Cole?
John?
Give me Browns, Eagles. I want to see dysfunction at its best, so give me the Eagles.
You're taking the Eagles.
No, I'm taking the Eagles if I were betting, but I want to see dysfunction, watch the Browns fall apart.
All right, tonight at 9 o'clock Central, get your computers ready. Go to nfhsnetwork.com/schools/Soldotna high-school-soldotna-AK for Palmer at Soldotna. That's right, our Stars kick off the season tonight. You'll hear about him again in Bad Box
Let's
Score of the Day
go.
next week. Palmer at Soldotna, 9 Central from Soldotna, Alaska. Our boys are back.
Let's go.
They kick off tonight at 9. Get your streaming service prepared. That is my Super Sofa game of the week.
Love it. Give me the NFL. Cowboys, Ravens. Let's eat. Yeah.